Hello everybody, welcome back to another week of Olympus. I'm Halfling, once again joined by Fel, and it's a funny little time to definitely be squeezing into game of League of Legends, but you know, the show must go on.
Here's a must, and happy 4th to you and to everybody else. So hopefully everybody has a safe, fun-filled weekend. And before we get into fireworks, we got a banger of a series out here for you. Between two teams, one that's in control of their own destiny, and the other one that is trying to hope that they can claw their way into playoff contention. Just kind of like last week. So we got Genesis and then TEQ here. So TEQ did a huge roster shakeup last week, and then 2-0'd Mint Gaming Assassins, and so they got to be feeling pretty good about themselves. At least the management has to be like, okay, well, whatever we did worked because it wasn't before. And so when you have big roster moves like this, like what is the emphasis for like Genesis to be able to deal with this? Do they know these people? Is it like a weird thing, or is this just kind of business for usual for them?
For Genesis, not quite. I'm just anticipating them to stay on the same form that we saw from last week, which was a lot of mostly just confidence. If anything, they were moving to spaces at times that they're supposed to, and just taking the right fights at the right time, regardless of like individual mechanical mistakes or outplays in the moment. I think they would have won the last week series, so they're kind of back here now, having to play that Kingmaker that they are. They're having to play the king in this case for the Regicide that Tech is kind of looking to achieve at least. The stream is a pretty good track record at least of lower seeded teams definitely taking down the higher seeds. So I'm anticipating a fun series as well tonight. We did just see everyone should have seen it if you speak English. The G2 TES series was a phenomenal series, so maybe some teams feel a little inspired from that and bring a couple hope not. There were some good picks. I don't know if I want to see the Anivia top.
Exactly.
But there's other stuff I definitely want to see.
Yeah, and that's like one of those things that it's just so frustrating. It's not even like it beats you, or like you literally just beat yourself when playing into something like that. It's not like extremely oppressive like a Vayne or a Teemo or something like that.
Oh,
it's
this
just
was oppressive.
Annoying. Well, yeah, but that's that's at that level. But you would think that people would know how to play into it as well. Maybe threw them off. I don't know, but yeah, God, I hope we don't see it. That being said, we will get into the bans here. Theory of Everything is going to be on the blue side. They're going to ban out the Brand, the Smolder, and the Nico. And then for Conduit Genesis, they're going to ban out the Varus, Fiddlesticks, and Orianna, as Senna's going to get picked up as the B1.
Yeah, but they are going to not... Well, they're not going to split up the Ashe Seraphine, and when you see a Senna this early as well, you're not under threat for the Milio Lucian that's kind of been starting to crop up a little more. Now, also, when you see that Senna, you're not really required to pick your 80 carries super early. You can hold on and maybe look to say, hey, where can the Seraphine play with other laners? Most anticipated, you're going to see her going with the Ashe, and there's a champion I've been hyping up at least, and now finally getting to see a very, very good performance from Caps on it. So that's going to be Thunder McBusters on the Syndra.
Yeah, that's a champion that for some reason you always forget about, or at least I do. I always forget about it until I see it pulled out, and then all of a sudden it just takes over. It's almost like I know it's control mage, but it feels so artillery with how far away she can stun you from and be able to lock down. And speaking of somebody that's got range and potential artillery, we do have the Hui coming out as the answer for Derisen. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I love the Syndra pick. I think it's just like a put your balls on, or put it on the table and then just kind of let it go.
Yeah.
And just like throw down the gauntlet, because there's a lot of champions that, if you screw up, can definitely take advantage of you, Ari, and stuff like that. So it will be interesting to see how the Hui plays into it, but I do love this for TEQ to just put this one out there, as we are going to get the Mundo as well, and then the second round of bans.
Yeah, the Mundo it's a little early, I'd say, for a Mundo, but he can flex between that top lane and jungle position, so it's not the end of the world when you're already seeing Nocturne. It's also not like the word. It's not great for the Mundo, but you can definitely hold on to that for a very long time. And
I see you saw what I just saw.
Oh, is that a bar top? 80 carat? No, is that bar top? Because you have Seraphine already, you have Wei as well, unless you're going like Wei barred bot lane with Seraphine mid, but
maybe.
I don't want Bard AD carry. That's the big thing.
Yeah, I don't think it's. I think it's going to be a Bard in the support. Whether he's going to be with the Hui or the Seraphine is probably going to be the question. Obviously, Nocturne should be going into the jungle. We are going to have a Scion and a Mundo, so this is going to be a tanky team. And we're going to get a Shen as well on the top side here. And obviously, much like the Orianna Nocturne, I love the Shen Nocturne combo when pulled off correctly. Like, it's so just like come out of nowhere. You think you have somebody caught, or you think that you're safe because you have somebody hovering, and all of a sudden the Shen's coming along for the ride too. So this will be very interesting as we see it is going to be a Bard support with an APC Seraphine into the Senna Mel, and I love this Mel pickup as well. I actually I'm kind of feeling Theory of Everything's draft right now, just because I love the tankiness out of the top and the jungle, and the late game just go ahead raid boss, like try to take us down, along with you know, the Syndra into the Hui is you know, skill, but the Mel is just gonna poop all over that Seraphine if they give them the opportunity with a huge encore being able to just rebut that.
Yeah, and on top of that too, kind of I'm liking what Tech has. Our games traditionally are going a little bit on the longer side here at Olympus, so when I look at Conduit squad, I really do like what they have, but then you have to ask the question, what happens when Mundo and Scion get 3 items? What happens when these champions just have 150 resistance to everything and 5k HP? There's not, you're looking at your Nocturne to deal damage, which, I don't know, you and me have seen enough games together to know that that's just not going to be the case ever. So it is going to be a lot of pressure on Conduit to get this game done as early as possible. And I think Syndra is going to be very good at stopping that. Scatter the Weak is a very strong tool to stop any and all engages. And the engage isn't exactly the strongest coming from Conduit. It is super reliant on, you mentioned, that Shen and Nocturne combo. And the second that misses, it's, I don't want to say doomed, but it's not great.
Right. And, you know, and Boostus on this Mel is going to be able to rebut a lot of the damage as well. It's not as strong as it was since the rework. It doesn't just negate 99% of the damage or whatever it was, but it does negate a lot and give you like that quick shield. So if timed right, like that's going to be hard. Like you said, the Scatter the Weak is really good against Nocturne, mainly because like it's a multi ability hit for you to get that. So like even the Nocturne shield won't be able to stop the knockback part of it. So it will be interesting to see if they can play around this really well. And then, yeah, you know, you have scaling jungle, scaling top laner, and scaling support AD. So it's going to be interesting. They better hope that this game does go long, because if Conduit pulls what they did last week, this could be really bad and a quick lot of power picks for the side of TEQ knocked out quickly. But, you know, I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens there.
Yeah, we do have time. Quite a bit of time, actually. We gotta wait for that level 6 on pretty much every one of those longer range abilities that you're looking at. You're looking at Temper Fate, you're looking at Spiral of Despair, you're looking at the Nocturne with the Paranoia and Stand United from Shen. Like we got some time here to really calm down, and that's your spot as Theory of Everything, where you can at least try and establish, hey, for first reset, I'm in a good spot, I'm getting some farm, and that's the case here for Thunder McBurst in the mid lane, and Boostus is playing on a knife's edge, and I guess that's kind of what you need to do, though. You do need to try and pressure where you can and abuse the fact that Sen and support, it's kind of unleashed. It's unleashed as like a bunny, but unleashed nonetheless.
Yeah, and that was a really, I was impressed by watching that, how close that got there. And yeah, and Senna, we discussed this last week when it was in there. Like this champion went from like, oh my god, we like never do anything until, you know, 40 minutes into now the champion can play, especially with the Deathfire Torch. Everything that they've given to the supports and made her like a strong laning champion now. So she kind of can set herself up. She doesn't have to be just into melee champions to where she can scale and get her her stacks. So top lane going about as you would expect as well. The Shen able to kind of do what they want against the Scion here, but you know, like I said, it's kind of expected, and with the scaling going, the more that this kind of just lull of action and no kills, no real anything going on, the more it kind of favors TEQ.
Yeah, I don't blame Conduit for not really being able to get anything going. Grafuko, even on the Bard, you just don't have an 80 carry to follow you up. You have the Seraphine, so you're going to be up here on your own. You're going to go for this trade, and which Black Mass on the Sun is just going to win every time. It's an 80 carry versus a true support. They have nerfed Bard's damage substantially enough to where you can't really 1v9 at level 1 anymore. But it's quite fine. The tanks, getting a little bit of a tussle in the backyard, but not quite enough for us to quite open up the window yet and shout at them. So moving along into your second clears now finished up for the junglers, and still no level 6s in sight, so still no action on the table.
Yeah, I think this is kind of, I mean, for us, it's not great, but this is kind of like what you want to see from both of these sides. Like you said, there's not very much that they can force on the same, token. It's literally what you want out of this game. I think for both of these teams, like you said, you want to get the level 6s. You want to see where you can make your first, like, big break as the side of Conduit, and at the same time for TEQ, you literally want this to happen. You want this to be the most boring game until 35 minutes in, and then just let it take over. So I do kind of feel like, Conduit, as they're playing this right, so a little bit of trade in the middle, they are going to sort of be like on a timer, because you do have infinite scaling through the Scion, you have an infinite scaling through the Senna. The only thing they're missing is like a Nasus jungle here, but Mundo kind of does that as well. And you also have a ton of scaling through the mid lane as well, because once Syndra hits her 140 on her stacks as well, like, it can go really poorly if you let that happen.
Yeah, she has the capability of just assassinating anyone in his team fight at like 40% HP due to the execute on there. So that's a threat that you have to worry about, but that's a later problem. Down the line, though, Conduit picking up this first dragon. And Derizen and McBusters have definitely been going at it in the mid lane. Not quite enough to gain any real advantage. Darkseal in the inventory for Derizen is expecting some sort of gank here in a bit from this Nocturne for sure, but it's going to be a couple extra seconds here.
Yeah, and even though she's immobile, she is kind of hard to catch. Along with that, she can just kind of stop you. But Hui is one of those champions that it doesn't really matter how far away you push him; he can reach out and touch you from very far away. So it'll be interesting to see if he can get that. If the Nocturne does indeed wait until 6, and then they just try to double that up with the Hui CC to make that happen. So we'll just. Actually, Thunder getting a lot of poke here. They're not at the assassinate him damage yet, but Derizen's gonna have to be very careful on this way not to let that happen. As now we are gonna start seeing the level 6s hit. Bard is kind of roaming up to the middle here, trying to make sure that Hui's is safe. But yeah, we are starting to see a lot of just posturing, I guess, is the right word for this, as Bard's coming back to the lane, but they did look for stuff, just didn't get anything out of it.
Yeah, you can open up a different lane as long as Domination can sit there and absorb the bounce and not fight on it, not try and contest it, just thin it a little bit, thin the wave, let it come back. The Paranoid's going to cast a mid lane, just an instant flash away from McBusters, still sticking alive. Rebuttal's going to pick up Domination there. Encore able to get dodged away by Boostus, trying to find some sort of damage here, but not quite enough in the tank yet for the bot lane of Tech to get a kill here.
No, it's not. Good job, Justin. Once again, the knife's edge that you had mentioned earlier, just barely missed on that Encore coming out from Seraphine. I got Domination, so it was a little bit of... Two champions almost died in the mid lane there. It was almost a free one for one as I was speaking. But yeah, the Encore just barely missed. I like the timing. Wait for the rebuttal to come out on the E, and then cast your ultimate, try to catch him out. But yeah, Boostus on this Mel has just had almost perfect placement of their feet this entire time, and we're starting to see now the Scion able to just kind of push up. And to note, Noodles on this Shen has not gone back yet for an item, is still just sitting on this Doran shield, and nothing else is now the objectives once again in the eyes of the junglers. But this time it's TEQ is going to be able to pick up these these void grubs after Conduit got the first one. And I already like what Komarobi is doing here on this Nocturne. Is already inside the jungle with his Bard hovering him, taking all of the resources away from Proton. So good heads up play from them to get at least something out of it, knowing that you're not going to get the
Could be bot here.
objectives.
Boostus is not in the best spot ever. I do like this hold on the rebuttal from them, and even the skill check won, so not too shabby there, able to kind of get away with a little bit of a gank, but losing those 2 camps there, not a bad decision from Komarobi, and I don't doubt that they're going to be able, that they're not going to miss those grubs too much, and Tech is in desperate need of them, honestly. I think they would have traded like an entire quadrant and then maybe like another buff for those at this case, because you just don't have the siege power with a comp like this. You do need that little bit of extra true damage, and maybe like getting a little close there. Spell and Despair ended up going a little wide, so it's not the end of the world, but Thunder McBuster is now finally getting a little bit of punish from Derizen.
Yeah, and that's just kind of like what's going to happen at this point, right? It's like expected that this is going to fall on the shoulders of Thunder to deal with the Hui. At first it's like, okay, I'm Syndra, I can poke, I can do this, and then now it's going to transition to what can we do during the team fights. And I think that Hui is a champion that offers so much in the team fights, and it's going to be hard for Syndra to match, so it is going to be on her to sort of get those assassinations that we had talked about earlier when she gets her stacks up and she actually gets her execute on her ultimate. So as of right now, you just want to hit as many QE combos as you can so that you can stack that passive up.
Don't miss cannons either. You get it for free from the cannons. So though a big thing, I think you and me have seen this the last 3 weeks, is we see Shens, we see them do really well in lane phase, and they pick up this Titanic Hydra. They and they always just falter. They always kind of fall a little bit behind because they have that combat power. They have that ability to push lanes now, which is great, and it's putting Noodles in a great spot here, as that's going to get tabled as they found the Paranoia onto Boostus. Not Boostus, it's Witch Black Mask running on away. Had to burn both summoner spells to get out of that little bit of dangerous situation they put themselves in. Mountain Dragon now postured. We love saying that word, is setting up for this dragon, but I don't know, losing Paranoia like that is not ideal.
Yeah, and on top of losing the Paranoia, he also burnt his flash. Oh, never mind, as we're about to get a fight here over in the dragon is...
Why would we get a fight?
Volley for position here.
Maybe gonna get some sort of blood. Derizen has to flash away. Did end up eating that scatter, but nothing quite yet. No blood has been drawn in this game. Witch Black Mask, though, getting close, try to change that history. Domination does have that Encore. They're lining up pretty well. That's gonna be a lot of damage. Derizen picking up that first blood now. Goes golden from the Faded Despair as the Smiling Despair picking up another kill on 2. Poor old Boostus stuck in the pit. Can't go anywhere. Encore picking up the kill towards Domination. It's 3-0. I don't know what they're doing there.
Yeah, no, I think that's just a little bit of an... Oh, wow. That's a lot of bit of an overstep. Mundo being... I mean, you didn't even have the numbers or the jockeying for position there. Like, you lost on both fronts there. Also, TEQ, you're a late game scaling comp. Just let this dragon go. I know it sucks to be down by 2, but now you're down by 2 and 3 kills, the first 3 going over, and first blood at 11:30 in the match is late. But the last person you want to give it to is Derizen on this way, and now they're 2-0 out of nowhere to just balloon themselves into a lead. That was a 2.5K gold swing. Going in the favor of CEG there, and we've seen what Genesis has been able to do with these leads once they get them. This is not the spot you want to be as TEQ. They should have just let that one go.
Yeah, they got the... I get the idea, though. They have the positioning. They feel pretty comfortable in that spot, but you can see the all-out fight starting up, and here's another example of it. Cross-map play from Komarobi onto the bot side. They're going to pick up the first kill in the Witch Black Mask. No way to follow up yet, and look where Mundo is. Farming camps can't quite make the play topside, even though the HP isn't too bad. This Unending Despair is keeping Brecky Hill super healthy. Yeah,
it is, and they're... I actually like this as a first purchase, just because you know that Shen wants to be on top of you, so you get that huge, free leech, basically. Every fight is going to be extended, as now we're going for another fight in the bot lane. Beast is caught out.
Yeah, we'll call that a fight. There's another fight. just one after another falling. Conduit Gaming starting to pop off a little bit too. Blackfire Torches picked up here for the mages on their side. I get it. They're both Blackfire Torch champions, but I don't know. They so easily apply that burn.
Yeah, and I don't think it's as I don't think it's a like a mortal sin like it used to be with the double Leanders. Remember,
Yeah.
it would only go once, and you'd see 3 people having it. You're like, why? We only need one. It only stacks once, and yeah, it may only stack, but it does at least give you your passive still, to where you will be able to get your you'll be able to get your AP boost that it gives you once you start applying it to multiple champions. As we are going to get the lane swap here out of the way. This is one champion that can easily deal with this. Like, look how much wave clear he has. It's so just effortless for that champion to just do whatever he wants. And being 3-0, this 1v2 might actually go his way if Boostus and Witch overstep here, which is crazy to think about, but it could happen. Is Bard trying to make a play over here on the top side onto the Scion, and mid lane just kind of trading off the farm here.
Time to make a play, but now how much is that going to be? Hey, you got the flash out. I'm not quite sure if Breckie Hill actually had to flash, simply because these two, a Shen Bard does not strike me as two champions that can burst an unending despair Scion, who's been farming phenomenally, by the way. So, hey, flash for safety, deal with the consequences later. No big deal at all. Grafuko happy to get that one and start having some sort of overall map impact. They've been doing pretty solid in the lane and kind of around that dragon play as well, so finally getting on the map is good.
Yeah, it is. And I know the last time that we saw somebody burn a flash was Witches on the Paranoia, so that didn't go well afterwards. So we'll see as now big combo out of the
Goodbye. Oh yeah.
Gonna get, yep.
Stat checked.
You've hit that point.
Not much
now.
you could do there.
No. 4-0 or
walk up-
3-0
the
at
walk
the
up the
time
wave.
play into 0-2 Syndra. Never going to go well for them. And TQ, they better hope that there's something that they can do to stall this game out now, as Breckie Hill is now getting pushed in. Hui is doing whatever they want with the Syndra, and Boostus and Witch are just trying to do their best to hold on to this. But the only two that haven't died so far are the mega tanks on the side of TEQ. So maybe that's because they're not doing what they're supposed to be, right?
Definitely not Proton Flat player on the Mundo, who's been just a non-factor. And you have Heartsteel, so you're encouraged to just kind of gank, just to gank almost after every single quadrant. Because why not? You need to try and get these stacks going. You can show some map presence and so on here. And Breckie Hill's been doing fine, honestly. It's Scion. Clear waves, get super tanky, stand in front of people, create space in late game fights here. But this is not exactly what you want to do at all. Noodles for 2, pick up the solo will on the top side. Alrighty, 1 down, 1 to go.
Yeah, this is just Conduit just picking right up where they left off last week. They are just like a well-oiled machine, moving together, doing what they want. As I say
maybe
that,
the pick they wanted to Komorabi. They're gonna pick up the shutdown onto the Nocturne. Proton Plat player starting to run through the backside. The Encore getting a lot of lockdowns. Sprout to spare the backside of the fight. Derizen's gonna pick up a kill here just off screen. Proton Plat player still sprinting on down. Derizen rooted up. That's the Stand United to get the Shen over here. Senna still alive. Look at the HP bars on the side of Tech. They have to get out of here. Proton Plat player, though, did their job super well.
Yeah, they did, and I don't think this fight's over, because now you got Breckie Hill trying to come in on the Scion. They still want this dragon, and as you said it, but the Heartsteel, you just picked up 70 stacks in that fight, like super quick too. So that's what, 3, maybe 4 procs on that Heartsteel right away. So finally starting to join, but you know the first time that they're getting blood onto Genesis, it comes in the form of killing that Nocturne, and it did go to Boostus, who we know Mel as a champion can take over games, especially when they have a front line to get everybody else like low and then just be able to execute with the ultimate there. So we'll see if that does anything, or if that was just like a miscue from the side of Genesis, and you know, they just get back to going where they were, as it does look like they are still going to get this dragon, even though that fight did not go the way they wanted to in the beginning.
I think the fight was fine from Conduit. Yeah, the Mundo picked up a little bit, and with the help of the Mel, the Eclipse over the top, but it's just so hard. This might just be a solo kill on the Thunder McBusters. That shit's got so much damage. Now has to get away, though. Proton Plat player in the area, just going to collect their one little Heartsteel stack and walk on out here, though. Noodles for 2, happy to keep this going as long as possible. One more scatter. They're trying to find the damage. Everything dodged away. No way! Noodles for 2 for 1.
For 2 for 1, yeah. I don't know if maybe it's just they're a little frustrated with how the game has gone so far, but Thunder just got way too close to a Shen there, and the Titanic Hydra may not keep them alive when they start getting burst down in team fights against a lot of damage, but it'll at least get you through one combo of Syndra, and that's all that it was. And then after that, like, this Noodles is just completely dominating this game right now. The entire time up against the Scion was doing what he was supposed to, and now has made a couple of really good plays here. And Genesis on the backside of this is now 9-1. They have a 6K gold lead at 19 minutes in. When you're going up against a team that scales as much as TEQ does here, like, this is exactly what you want. So great pace of play from the side of Conduit Genesis here to start this first game out. And I really like what they're doing here, is they're just taking complete control of this game right away. But now they have to put their foot on the necks of TEQ. They cannot let Theory of Evolution get anywhere, and get back into this game at all if they want to make sure that they win this, because the later this game goes and the less the gold differential matters, the more that TEQ has a chance to just stall and then, like you said earlier with the stat check.
And a lot of the item breakpoints for Conduit here are starting to get into the strongest parts of these champions. You got 2 items on Wei, 2 items on Seraphine here. Yes, they scale even more, but this kind of burst versus their lane opponent is at a really good spot objectively here, so they're going to start kind of feeling this this extra little pressure to make plays for Conduit. So hopefully they can kind of keep up their persistence, because a big thing that they've been able to achieve in every play is typically making like the calm option, the slow option, and out competing what is meant to be a sustained comp from Tech consistently. Now, yeah. It's not like Conduit doesn't have that themselves. You've got a Bard, you got a Wei, so there's obviously, or not a Wei, a Seraphine, so like obviously they're gonna be just as good at that. But the nature of the front lines is very different. And right now, Conduit have that advantage, and they're abusing as much as they can. Derizen, though, now caught off in the side lane. That's a big shutdown that they want to collect here. Tech going to try and burst as much as they can. Flash already used from Derizen. Spout Despair to get away. Stand United dodged away from that scatter. Now it's Turn Tail to go on top of that Paranoia towards. Oh no, Conduit. The gaming have turned it on your head, Tech. You could not make it done. That should be Baron.
Yeah, it should be, and Derizen finally has to concede 1 kill for an assist there, so good guy in the mid lane there for Conduit. That play just kind of turned around on him. It was just, once again, like, the Noodles on this Shen has been so impactful in 3 major plays now for that, and I guess they're not going to end up going for the Baron here. I think they should. I'm with you on that. I think you have so much control as the flash taunt's going to come through before I can even finish half a sentence. And now,
you know what? It's okay not to do Baron. If this is your plan here, dive on the tier 2, pick up this tier 2 and reset, and then go for it again on this dragon here. That's perfectly fine. I was worried about it for a couple of minutes as well, for like a minute there, because it's like, oh, they're just gonna do nothing after this fight. No, they're setting up a dive, so that's good. Ready for this dragon. They've got sums as well, and really all they worry about is not having Derizen and Noodles flashes, which not great, especially for a Shen. You want to have that engage tool, but look what you got for it in the meantime.
Yeah, and this is another thing too, the Dusk and Dawn purchase for the Shen now, so even more.
My God.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Assassin. I don't like seeing those as a Paranoia is going to get popped out here. What is going on?
This is super early. They've got Noodles for 2 on the TP. The Paranoia should hide it away, and now going on Komorabi as a left Shen. Noodles trying to get out of this. Not quite tanky. Spout Despair is going to land, though, into Witch Black Mass. That's half HP minimum by the Senna, already chunked down to less. Looking for more. They're going to find this route onto Derizen now. Burst it down. Golden Eclipse going to find the kill. Not without going godlike on the way down. Shutdowns traded here as the route's going to land Encore. Finding 3 into the backside. Thunder Thunder McBusters. What can you do on the Syndra? You've got to make it happen. First a shutdown to Brecky, looking for more. The sustain on tech, starting to stack up here. Conduit, you approach the fight lazy, you're starting to get punished.
Yeah, and it's not very often that you see somebody's like main AD champion, you know, and the rest of their team all standing on top of each other, and then they win the fight. But that's exactly what just happened from TEQ, and that might be a sign of like it may not matter as Brecky Hill's still going for this. Okay, all right. You know, it may not be going the way that you wanted to if you're Conduit Genesis now, because that is the doubt that is the seed of doubt that needed to be planted in their brains, because they had the entire team of TEQ corridored up against a Hui, against Seraphine, and they did a really good job with which I thought it was too early as well, but as soon as that teleport came in from the Shen, like the Paranoia just kind of blocks that vision, so you don't even see it coming through. I think that TEQ were completely caught off guard by that teleport with the Shen, with the Paranoia, so really good play from them, like using that in a non-standard way, I guess, you know, the Nocturne Shen, but yeah, like they were completely locked on top of each other, and they still ended up winning that fight. And Senna walking back up into the Hui circle is not what you want to see, but the fact that we're able to get away with that says a lot about the state of this game now and where the momentum is. So potentially this could be really bad for the side of Genesis. If they have another fight that goes that way, they may not like what happens afterwards, and this game could have gotten away from them just basically on that fight right there.
Not quite away from them, but hopefully they kind of wake up and see that, you know, you look down the items and yeah, your team should be really good at team fighting. You have great backline access with the Paranoia Stand United combo, as well as Encore to kind of push through the team, but look at the items. Yeah, Nocturne's ready for that, but the other side, the whole point of Shen being there is it's just a body. It's a body. The Q is what kind of helps deal damage here. This is like Bruiser Assassin Shen right now. And that means you're kind of just playing for side laning. You're playing to drag to and get away. That's it. Your job is just push lanes quickly, hit the towers hard, and do this situation now where, look, they can set up some great vision around this Baron here. They can make a play on the side lane here because they pulled Syndra, who is not necessarily in a great spot, but it's just a body at this point. And they can maybe get a great advantage and a great position here for this next fight.
Yeah, and it's always a good thing when you're stealing resources and stuff. I'm just kind of worried that for the next Baron fight. But like you said, if they do end up just sitting here and pushing lanes and getting numbers advantages everywhere and using that to their advantage, then, you know, yeah, it definitely does work. And I wasn't even thinking about, I was just thinking they're going to keep team fighting. But it doesn't look like they're doing it. They're doing a great job of just pressuring like multiple waves all at once here as well. So great job from Genesis so far to just kind of do exactly what they need to, especially after that one fight happened. So
you see responses top, man. I need to see a body top like yesterday from the side of Conduit here, though. If they're gonna send everyone on this side of the map, it like they're playing like they picked up Baron. I'm so confused. Like, guys, you don't have Baron. You're not gonna be able to get a wave under tower when there's a Syndra and a Mel and a Scion standing in front of it. Just spread back out like 3 waves earlier and kind of restart the play. What are we doing?
Yeah, it's almost like a roaming 1-3-1, right? Like where you have to kind of at least have presence in all 3 lanes, but you can sort of switch it out. They did a good job of getting the turret down to half health, but once the rest of the team shows up for TEQ, yeah, you have to back off. You have to bounce over to somewhere else. You have to make your presence known, and you have to keep this pressure up. Noodle's coming up to the top lane now, but I think you're right. It's just a little too late as far as the macro is concerned. So if they clean it up, then no harm, no foul. But I think a lot of their posturing is going to be for the Dragon, or try to make it be like a Dragon trade for Baron here. But the Cloud Soul is going to be very important for both of these teams, but mainly TEQ. You probably want to be able to get a couple of these Dragons before the Soul comes out, just to get that move speed boost that is just like that passive. It's so huge. So
or just to not even deal with
here. Yeah,
just not even deal with Soul for longer. Like you're going to be contesting this as hard as possible. Your game ends if they get Soul objectively, because you're going to be dealing with so many of those Cloud Souls. Derision's already been hard to lock down and has only made a couple mistakes. It's given them the opportunities. So Definitely don't want to deal with that, and that's the onslaught here. They're finding this mistake. No flash on a Derizen. Stuck on the wall. CC'd and bursted. Boostius picking up that kill. Looking to turn that on a Kohlrabi. Paranoia's going to get popped. Dawning going on through, doing some damage, but the Encore sent straight back at him. Conduit have collapsed.
Oh my gosh, I said the yeah, that was just man, the Stand United cannot come through quick enough, and you're right, they didn't want to deal with the Cloud Soul coming out of Derizen. He was hard to catch, but right after you say he's only made one mistake, here comes the second one, and then finally Boostus gets the rebuttal that they had wanted. That's like when you're playing Blitzcrank and you just keep missing hooks and hooks and hooks, and then you finally hit one and you win a huge team fight over it. Like, I feel like that's what just happened for Boostus on this Mel, is they finally got a huge rebuttal out of that, as now Brecky Hill's trying to go back and forth between getting the wave to try to stop the damage, but it's not going to happen, as Noodles, even though the Stand United didn't come through, you still lost your Hui. You are going to have to deal with this, and now
Noodles
pincered here.
Oh yeah, super dead. Flashing over, able to taunt over the wall, but guess what? There's another member. My god, is that tilted to see for Noodles, but it's okay. Bought a lot of time, bought a lot of bodies there. And a kill, another kill for Tech, so still on the board.
Yeah, he is, and that's just you don't want to see it, but you did end up getting the inhibitor. I mean, most of the time, if you would ask yourself, hey, would you give, as a top laner, would you give your life to get the inhibitor and crack open the first one? You'd say yes, but it is kind of the way that went down, where you thought, okay, I completely outplayed this. They missed every single skill shot. I even made Brecky miss 2 knockups with his Q. Then I flash over, and then I go the opposite way everybody thought I was gonna go, and run into the window. So yeah, that
it's
could
still
be
covered.
Yeah, it's very tilting, but at the same time,
it's a good play. Their Encore gonna get burned. They're flashed as their rebuttal is already burned. That's forcing another flash. 2 gone here, just before any sort of Baron play. That's gonna last through Dragon too.
And I think it was a good job by Kamarobi not to actually take that Paranoia anywhere, because I think if he does, they're probably about to lose this game off of that play. At least the Baron, if not the next tower or two. Noodles back into the side lane here. They are going to try to keep this split push going, but the numbers advantage is not really working for them anymore. I would kind of like to see maybe, I don't know, I mean, they can't really show up together and fight a team fight. So Noodles over on the split push game. That is going to be something that Tech is going to have to deal with, though, is the top lane is starting to really push in with these 2 stacks of super minions.
You're gonna have to see the Scion and do something, right? I know the ultimates aren't great, but this is the timer starting to run out. They're starting to ding over onto 3 items here, and Tech's really starting to come online. Their lack of AD damage doesn't matter because you just don't have the damage yourself to deal with their frontliners. So Conduit should be starting to feel that pressure a little bit, and that all on top of those timers that they just burned as well. It's like, you've got to do something here. I would be very, very stressed if I'm on the Conduit side in this game, because your options are starting to close here. And also a big call out, Proton has no MR. 0.
Yeah.
No, my bad. Has Merc Treads, 25 MR. My god, that's so great. Into Wei's Seraphine Shen, though, is crazy, as Kohlrabi has to flash on away, face check the bush for some reason, and now losing that important summoner spell.
Yeah, and I think they're going to try to get this here. Noodles is going to be able to get it, pick it up. But yeah, the wave clear from Thunder has been really good. He's been doing a great job trying to manage that tier 2. Just finally ran out of time.
As long as possible.
Able to do. Yeah, that is a level 19 Shen, so there's a ton of extra stats that you get when you go past the level 18 breaking point. So good job, and that's a lot of solo XP and just kind of chill timing that you want for that as well. So I do believe that the Syndra has hit phase 4 of their passive stacking. So I do think that they do have the execute now. They are fully online, and now it's just going to be Brecky Hill and Witch just trying to catch up to the point where they can start dishing out their damage as well. And then Brecky obviously wanting to get to as healthy as they can be, as the next dragon is about to come up in a minute, and both teams sort of posturing. We do see Kamarobi, he is sitting on a warded rush though, so I wouldn't hate to see Tech try to make some sort of big play out of this, as we do have both top laners catty-cornered against each other, pushing opposite sides, top and bottom. So a little bit of a lull in the action, but I do kind of feel like it is going to break out here momentarily, and this next fight could end up deciding the game potentially, especially if you're tech and you lose it really badly because you already have an open lane.
Another thing too is you still have those flashes down from earlier, so you have something that you can kind of play through right now as Conduit if you want to make that dive as like honest as possible. Another onslaught there on a Derizen. Stay Knight's gonna go on top of the way here. Good tempered fate for the side of Conduit at least. There is, here comes that encore cutting through 3. No rebuttal on that one at all. Tech are collapsing under the weight of their own pressure that they created, and Conduit rise above it. Noodles for 2, do what damage they can. Thunder McBusters, the final hope is gonna fall. It's the 2 tanks of Tech. There's nothing left to peel.
He lives so long that entire fight he was caught out in the front with a ill-advised ultimate of his own into the Stand United. That time the Stand United came out early enough that they were able to save Derizen, so good job from Noodles for 2, as now just they are going to just keep pressuring this. One more ability from the Wei might actually be enough to take this Mundo down. As tanky as he is, Wei does a ton of damage, as you know, now you have 4 items on that Wei. So a great play from them. Once again, I kind of feel like TEQ has gotten away with stacking up on top of each other. I think, like you said during that fight, like the pressure of each other that they created, but Ooh.
Getting away with a little bit of murder. That fear coming up in a couple of seconds, but guess who's tanking that up? It's a root. 1 picked up as well. For the side of Tech, though, Soul is getting worked on, actually. It's 4,800 here. Proton Plat player run on through. Doesn't have the ultimate yet. Good scatter, but the encore can't get stopped. It's happening again. We've been here just a minute ago. And Conduit Gaming keep to the script and keep to winning. Golden Eclipse just barely stopped to save 2.
Yeah, Conduit, they clawed their way back into this game, and as I was saying before that one broke out, the TEQ standing on top of each other and just lining everything up. The rebuttal being down for Boostless just kind of like spelled their demise, and it doesn't matter how tanky you are, eventually you will get whittled down, especially when you have all of these resistance cutting from the side of Conduit Genesis. So great play by them, great turnaround. It's almost like they drafted for this, to where they would be able to get caught out a little bit and then turn the fight around. Noodles, great job on that one. And then yeah, just the ability to just kind of kite back a little bit here and there. I know that Derizen did end up getting caught out, but they used a lot to get there, and they already had the dragon down enough. So now that is going to be Cloud Soul for the side of Conduit Genesis. Are going to get that, and now it's going to kind of be up to Witch at this point to have some better positioning and be able to dish out that 80 damage that they lack so much of on the rest of their team. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can stay alive long enough, because we did see on that fight, Komarobi is basically just saying, okay, as soon as I can get a good line in on the Senna, I'm going to take it. So it's going to be the onus on either Proton or Brecci to at least sit on the back and allow their damage dealers to do the damage that they want to do.
Boostus is going to face check that. Good tempered fate to stop this fight for a little bit longer. Komarobi has it, Staying Night, but didn't actually go into the back line. Dawning Shadow also burned. Recollecting as of this moment. Derizen wasn't here at all for that, so they're waiting for this way to come on through now. Starting to cut down the angle for Proton Plat player, moving on through. Noodles for 2, getting a little caught out, but able to get away just for a couple seconds. This mid-tier one is still up. Okay, you do have area to hide here as Conduit, but if the Seraphine just gets caught like that, there's nowhere to go. Oh no, Tech have found that angle, and Spawn Despair going to cut down 1 at least. Thunder McBuster first to fall. Boostus way too low, went golden, predicting the W, but you can't predict. Grafuko finds the stun on a Brecci Hill as well. The blood was still in the water, and they couldn't get away. Conduit Gaming just running down what's left of Tech. It just takes a couple extra seconds through this front line.
They're still holding back as much as they can, which doing a good job of just sort of keeping Noodles at bay. I think that if they die there, that's completely game. It still may end up being the end of the game here, but great job by Proton to just kind of sit on top of the Senna and make sure that they can, keep them as healthy as possible. As now this might end up being the dive. Oh,
Slow here. Noodles for
Proton
2 is
getting
tanking the
that.
tower, I believe. Proton cutting them down as well. Spine Despair onto the Mundo is going to fall. Komarobi low. Grifuko low enough. Risen out of mana. There is not much left on the plate. Has anyone taken a Baron this game? Did we just like talked about it for the last 18 minutes and no one's done it until now?
Yeah, no, there's been no Barons stolen,
Nice.
taken,
Nice.
whatever. There is, however, a
A
Boostus that
Boostus.
is thought
What are you
they
doing
had
here,
a
buddy?
play, but don't.
They don't have a play. They're buying time as of this moment here and still able to get away. Good route. Trying to find one. Looking for it. Gold Eclipse a little late, but it's A-okay. Grifuko on a rampage picking that one up.
Yeah, if they would have gotten that off, they might have been able to be the savior of this game one, but just couldn't live long enough. I like the fact that he just hits the rebuttal and then tries the Golden Eclipse, but it just didn't work out in his favor. But I think that maybe they thought they were just going to go straight to Baron, just like we thought that somebody was going to go to Baron at some point in this game. But they didn't, so now they're going to it.
Yeah, now they can.
After Boostus is gone, you are going to get the teleport out of Noodles to go towards the bot lane. They do have Stand United up, so if there is anything that gets caught out here, they will be able to turn this around. But I like the double pressure while the objective is going. You have the 2 open inhibitors on top and mid, so now you're just playing this clean push, push, push macro style here that you're afforded because you have a Shen with the global taunt, or with the global presence. So finally picking up a Baron at 39-30 in this game, much like First Blood took 12 minutes to happen, 39 minutes for the Baron. So yeah, definitely a slow, methodical approach to this game, but it's working out a lot for Genesis. And even with the scaling on the side of TEQ, I just don't think that they're scaling fast enough to be able to catch up to the point where they can just sort of
Just making
just press these
mistakes.
fights. Yeah, well,
Constantly. Someone's taking turns inting on both these squads, and it was just tech the last 2 times. Now, they did find this little engagement to Grifuko, but there's no follow-up. Paranoia was pop. Shen still pushing the bot side. Spawn Space going to go to Proton Platform. You got to space away from them. It ended up hitting Boostus. Dawning Shadow to keep them alive for a couple extra seconds there. Encore going on through, finding 2. As that's, was it Brecky's diving, I think. Noodles for 2 is just assassinating the backline that's left of tech here. Conduit Gaming, they hit him with their walls, they hit him with time, they hit him with the win. It's just taken a little longer than anyone anticipated, but honestly, who cares? They're up 1-0.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how you get there. And 40 minutes, if you would have told me at the beginning of this game that it was going to be 40 minutes before somebody won, I would have said that it was probably going to end up being TEQ. But Conduit Esports, they came out with a game plan, and once again, they are running off of the back of their success from last week. And they are just that was impressive how much they were able to just kind of hold back until they needed to go. There wasn't a lot that TEQ was doing to press them, and they just sort of allowed that to happen. And then as soon as TEQ stepped a little bit too far or made a mistake, like they capitalized on it. And so very well played from them. There weren't too many team fights that they didn't at least have set up to the point where they should have won it. And look at that damage from Hui. That the Risen on Hui just did 71,000 damage. Just insane amount. So great job from them. And then TEQ, yeah, I think they got away with it once of standing on top of each other, but then it seemed like every team fight after was just so chaotic where they just didn't position well, and they just ended up paying the price for it. So great job from Conduit to just take advantage of all the mistakes that TEQ was making and to sort of set up some of the mistakes that they were making as well. A little bit of a bait with the Stand United. A couple times it seemed like they looked forward, but yeah, and then also with the jungle, Nocturne being able to actually not just take his paranoia every single time into the backline was actually kind of impressive, because that takes a lot to not actually just hit it as soon as you go. So good job from them. Clean game one, and very methodical, and like I said, just like they did last week. So it's going to be interesting to see how TEQ responds in game two.
Yeah, there was some bones there for TQ to kind of work with, but I think they kind of psyched themselves out with the draft of this much scaling and this much weighting, and they kind of wanted to be active really early on, at least with the positioning. And mid lane definitely kind of a little bit of an issue, so we'll have to keep our eyes on that. We were told it was going to be a top lane series, and a top lane definitely
Risen read that as well.
yeah, getting something done, farming. But hey, man, they definitely showed up at the end of the day. Anyway, CG up 1-0 on to Tech. Let's see what they can adapt here. We'll see after the short break. What's good? Hey everybody, how's it going? Game 2 coming underway pretty shortly. The team's getting ready and raring for the draft. We had I'm not going to call it a snoozer, but definitely a little bit of a slower game, methodical in some aspects, kind of a little emotional in others. Regardless, we've got a fun kind of promise coming through here because you kind of look over at Theory of Everything and it's like, hey man, you need to start going now. You need to win now. You lose this game and you're most likely, I think like 95% chance, you're just out of playoffs. So it's time to go.
Yeah, it definitely is, and not only that. So we should see maybe some pocket picks or some sort of sense of urgency out. I don't want to see another scaling comp. I want to see like a let's go kick their ass comp. Like that's what I really want to see coming out of TEQ here, and especially since they're like a brand new roster, like go out and have fun, right? And if League of Legends was like every like if every game of League of Legends was like the last one where it was like played the way it was meant to be played, kind of like. I don't think that it would have as many fans as it does. So let's get
Mhm.
something going here. I mean, props to Conduit for being able
Keeping
to
it under
play the game
control.
that way, and just do what you're supposed to do and just wait for them to make mistakes, and then as soon as they do, just hop on it. But yeah, like you said, snooze fest is probably a decent word, but I mean, yeah, that's what you want to do. You want to do the boring stuff. You need to do the boring stuff. You need to get good at that, so that way when things go awry, you can get back to that foundational style of gameplay. So, but yeah, I think that they have stayed the same sides. I didn't see
I saw swap sides.
swap sides. Oh
We'll
yeah,
be
side
surprised.
swap.
We'll be
So
surprised. 50-50 side swap. There we
yeah,
go. So
there we go.
Tech opting into that red side, looking to get a counter pick somewhere. I don't think it's not valid. It is definitely valuable to get it in any role. So it's not too big of a deal. Ban's gonna be the same thing. I like that you're kind of mentioning, just going, go forward, pick something that that it can actually, push a game state for. And I think the better to kind of temper that is as long as you have agency, you can pick scaling. There's not a problem with that, but you do need to, in some ways, actually pick something that could start a fight, and looking like they're having to serve out some skip bans. I remember seeing that, and someone mentioned that, but then in game one they didn't, or unless maybe I was just blind. I could be blind. I'd say, okay, these are just for show. Even though they're prescription, they're just for show at times with my actual vision on screen. So regardless, looking like it's just gonna be, yeah, I guess they served out in the game one too. The brand is respect, I guess, but it's hard. It's so hard when you can't ban anything. You're relying super heavily on Fearless to ban, and you're just giving Conduit whatever they want to run. Splitting up Sash Seraphine, though. No, Ashe alone is fine as long as you're picking something like Braum, but
I want to see the Ash Zyra, the old Cloud9. I want to see Lemons and Sneaky come out here. It is gonna be okay. So here's another one with the scale last time, but and it did get tuned down a little bit. But Smolder is still extremely strong, able to trade a lot better now than they were able to, as the Pantheon's gonna come out with him. So this is gonna be interesting here from the side of Theory of Everything, where they're able to get this Smolder. But like you said, we need agency, so they need to go over somewhere else, and they need to be able to just win. So like in the last game, like they were able to get the Void Grubs, but it would have been nice if you had a winning top lane or a winning mid lane. So yeah, as the Ahri comes out here for the side of Genesis, I think we saw Derizen on this Ahri last week, and they were extremely impressive on it. So if I'm remembering that right, like this should be a very interesting game for them. As now the Silas is going to come out, so this is going to be a lot of fighting from the side of TEQ potentially. So this kind of seems like the opposite of what we saw last game, and we obviously can flex the Pantheon. You can play him top, you can play him basically anywhere except for, I guess, kind of ADC. So it'll be interesting to see where that Pantheon goes.
the Braum ban is actually going to be from Conduit, so they weren't planning on playing it at all. And the RA Silas is making faces because I'm thinking, like, you could just run the Victor into the RA, play super safe, keep up that safety, keep up that kind of just lull state, and put a lot of the pressure onto Derizen to make anything happen. It's just a full target onto supports here, my word. But the Silas definitely working out. You still have Enchanted Crystal Area, still Spirit Rush. You're going to have a lot of presence here, and you're not going to be dealing with most super tanks top lane as well. Sion already out of the table. Mundo, the comfortable one. You're really starting to already dig into that bottom of the barrel, I'd say, on your super tanks top side. You can't pick Malphite, so not a bad situation here, but you are just kind of counterpicking yourself, I think, at every single point in time. You've got the Silas counterpick, but you're getting countered by the Rel into the Nautilus. The Pantheon is not going to have a great time into Ivern, and with this Jax locked through at the very end here, Tech are a little not squeezed quite yet. It's too early in the series to say that, but at the same time, looking across, it's like you can go this Garen, but now you're not one note. You're just back to the same old from last game.
Yeah, a little bit. I do think that with the Pantheon, you are going to have a lot more aggression. Silas also will be able to sort of, I mean, not as easily match the the wave clear that the R is going to have. You know, like once you get 2 points in the queue, you can basically just double queue a wave and then walk wherever you want. So there isn't going to have a much easier time than Thunder. But I do, with the way that the Syndra went last game, I am interested to see how the Silas goes. I think maybe that might be something a little more skill expressive that they might be able to play a lot better. And then Boostus on the Smolder played well on the Mel. I think that they just didn't have anywhere to go. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can keep this one up and maybe get to those stacks quickly. Because as you know, like you want to engage, you want to scrap, you want to fight when you're playing a champion like Smolder, because if you don't, then you just wait until 40 minutes and they don't have that time. As we saw, Genesis is able to press the tempo when they want to, and they've gotten really good at that over the last 3 games that we've watched them. So this will be interesting. I kind of like Genesis's comp a little bit better. The Ivern could end up being an issue depending on how aggressive Proton wants to be on this Pantheon, but we'll see.
We'll have to see later on, though. Already getting aggressive here for Conduit. They know that Counter-Strike Proton Plat players just stopped in their tracks. Oh, man. Oh, no.
You got to get this now. Oh, no.
What do you say? Oh,
Come
yeah,
on.
baby. It's just non-stop here for Conduit. They want to get aggressive early, and I like that. I do want to see someone really just pressure as much as possible. They understand that the only way forward in this game is to just establish a lead, because yeah, if you get to that later period, you're going to deal with that Smolder, you're going to be dealing with the Silas, you're going to be dealing with Pantheon having a not necessarily a faster clear than Ivern, but Ivern clears can get down to 309, 308. Or no, it's even faster now because of the camp spawn. I only know the old clear timers.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dating myself here.
Than that. Plus, if you take Unleashed
like 255
spellbook, you can actually teleport and get a DP quicker. I don't know if you've ever done that or not. It's really
Wait
cheeky.
a second.
It's kind of cheesy.
PTA on the Ivern? Okay, that's gonna get reestablished in a bit here. We'll maybe figure out what's going on, but they are gonna end up splitting camps. They're not splitting. They're gonna be splitting the map here. So Ivern on the bot side wanting to pressure as much as possible. That's a good thing too. On to Boostus, who doesn't have flash. Yeah, cleanse is available, but I mean you're just gonna be cleansing an Ash auto for 1 second or a Nautilus root, so it's not too big of a deal.
Yeah, and the press the attack on Ivern, I've seen it a little bit more recently than we were seeing it. Obviously, normally you go with the Airy, but it's something that into this comp actually makes a lot of sense, because once Pantheon comes in, if you can survive that, and once you have the Malignants, the PTA actually does a lot along with Daisy to kind of be able to fend for yourself and be able to dish out a ton of damage by yourself. So we did get an invade from Proton to get some vision down, but it doesn't seem like it's going to help very much because Soez is still hanging out here.
Is that a different top laner from last game? Am I crazy?
No, you're not crazy. They did end up maybe that's their original player. So they 2 E-subs that they ended up having the bans for. One of them came in. So
one of them came in. I see. Okay,
yeah,
well. Yeah, it was. They weren't too bad on the Scion here, but maybe the champ pool is just a little different. So, regardless, that change is happening. It's fine either way. And the Garen's going to be in a good spot. Into Jax. Yeah, the Jax got the early assist. This early reset's going to be pretty good too. But in general, you kind of just press E on Garen, and you usually can win trades. EW and just hope he doesn't like instant pop or prep the Counter-Strike early on. I do kind of wish, gank mid here, man. Thunder McBusters kind of has to make something happen even to this wave, and Derizen's starting to read that out a little bit. Hey, it's time to clear, and which Black Mass? Oh, here we come. Flash forward, Derizen stuck, locked down with the chains as well. Thunder McBuster on the area. They're going to find the burst to pick up Derizen. Finally on the map.
Yeah, sometimes you got to force things, right? And Derizen played that extremely well, too. Like, they stayed far back enough to where I actually didn't think they were going to get caught. And then you get the flash in from Witch, on the rel. So you get the flash in, flashed away, kind of got away from that, was actually able to buffer the timer on the Pantheon W as well, because he also wasn't able to get his quick 3 hits right after. So great job from Derizen, but sometimes they just send way too much, and the only thing that would have saved them is if they had completely given away the lane, which they weren't gonna do. So A little bit of a scrap down on the bottom. The heal is actually popped pretty early.
You could even see Witch Black was calling, "Hey, can we turn this?" And Boosta's saying, "No, not at all. The damage from the Ashe this early on is just too much to overcome." Even though it's a call deep ring, they're just gonna keep going forward. It's the fall towards Boostas, picking up that kill.
And he's gonna bait him.
Is that worth? Yeah, with Pantheon bot here.
Well, it's definitely worth it if you're the side of TEQ, because now Boostas literally gets to Q farm these minions. For the side of CEG, not so much. I mean, they should have. I kind of felt like they were going to win that once the heal came out and they started pressing, and I think you were right at first. I don't think that they were on the same page. Witch wanted that fight and Boostas did not, but it ended up turning out well for them, obviously, because they do get the kill on the back end there, plus all of the what is that, almost a whole wave of CS is going to be missed out by domination, and a lot of stacks going over to Boostas on this Smolder now, as they're going to look to go in on this again.
It's going to be at least a stack. Never mind, not at least a stack. No stack at all picked up, but I liked the idea of the fight at first. Pop the heal, keep going, but domination items was just the deep bow. I think I said blade at the time, or ring at the time, but deep bow and call is not, even on Ashe, is not really going to be dealing a lot of damage. Your job is kind of just to trade on through, and then once you're done, you're done. Like they're out, they're under their tower. It's okay. I've won the space. I could just go back to farming and go back to being oppressive. Because you saw before that play, it was like 31-18 on the farm. Yeah, there was a wave stacking, but it wasn't going to be anywhere near enough if you're contesting that under tower. So Conduit getting a little too antsy. I get the idea from Grafuko though, because like you see that situation. You're up a level overall. You've got decent items. You should be like winning that 100% of the time.
Yeah, should be, but sometimes it just doesn't work out. A little bit of an overstep, the flash forward under the tower, and good job by Witch to just stay in the way, right? Like they did a great job of just staying in the way. You know, they weren't able to do that last game, obviously, because you're playing the Senna. But yeah, just to body block and stay right ahead of where the Smolder was. It kind of felt like Nautilus was a little bit behind of the play. Even though they were the ones that started it, is now Proton.
Got sniffed on out in the jungle. They're going to pick off Noodles for 2s. Pop the Grandmaster at arms now. Could be ready to keep going as that's still going on, but they don't have Counter-Strike yet. SOAS has a lot of damage, and Thunder McBuster's on the way, has Spirit Rush as well. There isn't going to open up, force that last one. The Stolen and the real one going on through. Noodles for 2, going to flash over. Going back onto the wall, finds a Counter-Strike, looking for more as Thunder finds it on the way down. It's the 1-for-1 of the trade so far, but SOAS has to turn tail and run. Waiting for this root to come out from Kohlrabi, but you don't have to wait for it. If the charm's gonna land, SOAS falls every play. It's bricks for tech, it's gold for Conduit.
And that was such an outplay by Noodles. I loved that play so much. They got them both into the tri-brush there under the turret, and then got them both with the counterattack lockdown. So like they thought they had him dead to rights, and then he just pops out just enough, and then flashes over into there to get that double stun. And even though he lost his life for it, it was a 2-for-1, and a lot of CS pushed away. As now you have a nice wave kind of stacking coming your way if you are Noodles. So great play on both sides is now.
Great Starfall was red, but Kohlrabi is an AP as of now, Ivern. So you're not exactly the tankiest member of the bunch. I like the idea behind that, but the Grand Starfall, good read from the side of tech, should pick them up grubs.
Yeah, I don't even see the vision on the minimap for them to have called that play out, right? Like, it looks like he just kind of walked over nothing. And they were just, okay, we're going to go for the grubs here. I'm going to ult in. Yeah. I think that was a blind Pantheon ult over the... no, I guess he did end up walking over that one. Okay, I was looking at the minimap. I didn't see it. Okay, so he did end up walking over a ward. I was about to say, man, that is the luckiest Pantheon ult ever if he didn't even see that one coming, but he did.
Close, but information's still there, so well done from Tech to pick that up. And I was just about to mention too, you're on this Pantheon and you're behind as well, not able to get away from the chains, but the Ivern is here. Thunder McBuster's mind you cannot hijack anything but Daisy, and that's not gonna save you. The Ivern picks up the kill.
Yeah, it looks like they're going Banshees first. So normally when we see this, you see the the Malignants into the Banshees Veil, but it looks like they're going Banshees first here. I guess if you're not going to get a lot out of your Daisy, you might as well. But yeah, the press the attack Ivern coming through, I absolutely love it. I like it better. But I also wish that I could play it as well to be able to have the confidence to do that. But yeah, this is just it's so back and forth. Like this is so different from the first game, right? Like we had no action until like 13 minutes in, and now on this one, it's 9 minutes in and it's 6-4. So we've already had 10 kills, and we're about to see potentially
Nation's
another one.
getting engaged on bot side as well. As here comes Mom coming up from the top there. Rel keeping this slowed down for as long as possible. Domination taking as much damage, but now here comes the depth charge. Dredgeline also locking down Boostus. A lot of damage coming on through. Chain of Crystal Arrow pops. Witch Black Mask going for more. Grafuko gonna pick up that kill. Looking for the next one. Flashed away by Boostus. Just barely making it out. And Thunder McBusters was looking for a play mid there. Got very close, but just not quite what they need.
Yeah, no, it just like as I was saying, like just going and going, and at that time, Witch and Boostus were on the same page to take that fight, but that Domination and Grafuko were just a little bit more prepared for it on that one. So good job kiting back, like keeping the Rel at distance and not able to lock down. Also, the Mother coming through and missing is unfortunate for Boostus because he did sort of go wide right on that ultimate. So just good idea, just not the greatest of execution. But now you're going to get a second chance here as
Starfall did find Domination. They're getting low, gonna pop from the shield. It's the next rest of bot lane here for Conduit falling.
I mean they go from Nocturne in the last game to Pantheon this one. It's just like you're just never safe, and even after you win a 2v2 and play it perfectly, you just get ulted on top of. So unfortunate for Genesis. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, it's okay. Like I was thinking of the point anyway. It's like looking for the timer there. It was about 30 seconds before Dragon. That's about like 45 seconds is my kind of internal timer as a support of if I'm pushing, wrap that up. They're probably going to gank me bot lane with this Dragon. They're going to try and pick this up at a good advantage. So maybe they didn't have that. Maybe they weren't regarding it at all. And something I've been disregarding this game too is taking a gander at that mid farm. We might see that start to get a little more rough. But Thunder McBusters trying to find that dive into Ahri. They're going to pick it up with Proton Black Pillar, picking up that kill. Now Grafuko, the next one, Mother coming on through and doing it well. It's 2 kills picked up here for the side of Tech. Dragon now eyes fully set on it. They do have the Iron in the area. Possible to steal.
That'd be amazing
up
if
as
they
well,
did,
but they're gonna find this chains onto Domination, and they're just gonna fall. There's no avenue now into this Dragon.
Yeah, and that's just sometimes just gosh, and you lose your top lane. Oh no, that is not what you want if you're Genesis. Okay, yeah. I mean, Smite was kind of burnt there, but they do. No, actually, it wasn't. But it was burnt. So unfortunately, on that play, you're gonna get just a little bit out of position, and as you were saying, like, yes, the Ahri is way over on farm, but a couple of kills had gone over to Thunder McBusters before that. So the Silas's, even though they're 50 CS down, they did have like 2 or 3 kills more to at least keep that gold in their pocket. Whereas, yes, you are losing the lane. It's not going the way that you want it to. However, you are still in this game, and Thunder doing a great job of just kind of picking up kills wherever they can and doing like what they need to stay in on this. Is now Derizen on the Ahri is not as oppressive as they were last game. They're also playing into somebody that is a lot more mobile, and I think that this Sylas is definitely more in the wheelhouse for Thunder than let's say like the Syndra was last game. So I like the response from TEQ early on in this game. They do have late game scaling. They do have their own timer, and they have agency in the other lanes. It sounds like maybe you were talking to them in between the games, because they definitely did exactly what they needed to do, at least early on in this game.
I think a big thing too on top of that aggression is that they just are, they've enabled themselves to be there. And they're continuing the timings from last game. They didn't adjust too much. They just gave themselves more options as now the Garen's getting engaged on here on the top side. They've got all the tools they need to lock down the Garen. It's just up to Soaz to get away. A couple more Daisy stacks. Might find this kill to the tower there. Not enough damage. Dodged away from the Daisy knockup. Soaz still alive. Starting to earn the A.
Daisy, how do you miss your skill shot, bro? Come on. It ooh, right under the tower there is now a little more scrapping in the mid, and Proton wants a little piece of this action too, as the Garen's going to teleport. Yep, here we go.
No flash, no way to close the distance at all. They just have to run fast, and not a fight here at all. Thunder McBuster, though, showing up onto the area too. They have Spirit Rush as well, so they want this play, they want this dive, but the wave not in a great spot for it, and you've got the Arya resetting too. Now it has that Oblivion Orb, so should be able to manage against the Silas a little better here. They're going to go with the Kingslayer right on through. Good charm landed, now has to get away. One more charge left, I believe, on that Spirit Rush, and went for it, so trying to find what they can, but Derizen's just dancing around.
Yeah, that was just like both of them trying to out dance each other, and Derizen just gets a little bit better of it. I think the Oblivion Orb, like you said, you still saw that the healing on that W was like 150 almost, so it is still a lot as now a fight over
counter strike. Picked up the smite though. Tech got that Herald. Can they get the eye? Soaz trying to find the kill. Noodles for 2 able to flash away. Now Herald's picked up Soaz. Now you got to get out of here. Derizen waiting for that charm to tick up. Root not dodged away. Charm gonna land guaranteed. It's 2 picked up for Conduit.
Yeah, and even though they ended up getting Shelly, they do pay for it with 2. And Jax is going to be able to push this in and probably get even more plating, if not the tower. I didn't see what level it was at, but that's a lot to lose for. Oh yeah, for the Rift Herald. So that's a lot you're giving away. 2 kills plus 4 plates for the side of CEG onto the Jax, and we've seen what Noodles can do when they are on a champion like Shen. If they get ahead on this Jax, like that's going to be super rough for Tech to deal with. So, as well as things were going, every game is throwable, and they're proving it right now. So hopefully they can just, reset, get their minds right, and then get back to what they wanted to do, which is keep the pressure up and get the catch outs and, get back to winning this game.
Yeah, both teams need to. This next dragon here is going to be a big deciding point on who is firmly in charge. You're looking more towards Conduit right now, a lot more tools online at the right points. You've got Nasher's Tooth finished up for the Ivern, so a very scary Ivern to deal with here. Definitely not the supportive one that you expect, but that means Daisy, who's already a threat with the support items, now even scarier. Derizen, though, gonna eat that Enchanted Crystal Arrow. CC, well, oh my god! Tech now diving to the backside of Conduit Gaming. They're pushing on forward, gonna find domination here in a couple seconds as they're just looking straight past Grafuko, who finally gets taken in place. The substitute was made.
Yeah, that was absolutely insane too. And like Proton on this Pantheon literally has a Gunblade and a Serrated Dirk and still survived all of that. And they were able to just kind of ignore everybody else. Great Enchanted Crystal Arrows from Thunder on the Silas. That's like one of those things where you're just like, I love playing this champ because of this. And then like when they have a Silas, I mean, that's why the Malphite is like a don't touch this, kind of deal when there's a Silas on there. And he's showing you why. And it can be an extremely dangerous pickup now as Domination getting a little bit too close. The Rift Herald's going to come mid, and it does look like they're going to trade maybe the mid tower for a lot of pressure onto the top, and somebody's going to have to deal with Noodles on this Jax, and it's getting to the point where it's going to be harder and harder for anyone to do that.
It's be a big game too to pick up the Zhonya's. So definitely something that you'll see finished up by the Jax eventually, though. That is going to take some time here, and during that time, Noodles can kind of dash around like this. Gonna find another counter-strike, finding 2 on the stun there. Proton Plat player, 1 HP, gonna burn on down. Noodles for 2, happy to get that one delivered there. Damasi and Justice judges you guilty, though, as Soaz finds 1 on the return. They are gonna fall in a couple seconds here. Boost is showing up in the area, happy to get some stacks delivered. Grafuko turning into that target. Now, the Nala that starts dying is going to stay dying here. Thunder McBuster is gonna find that one going to the backside of this fight here. Derizen, they're just guaranteed dead. Somehow enough mana to finish that up, and then knock up on a Witch Hat, picking up that kill.
Fight's not over yet either. Looks like they kind of want to dive here, and at first I was like, okay, that's kind of worth. So is going to be able to suck up all of this CS on the backside here, but they do end up just kind of keep going in, and that's the problem with this build from Pantheon is, yes, you're going to be able to do a lot of damage, and yes, you are going to be able to catch people out, especially once this Axiom Mark is done, but you run the risk of, if you overstep, you're just kind of screwed, and that's what happens,
Why?
especially when you go,
What?
especially when you go into a counter attacking Jax. So,
Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this to ourselves? Why do we think? Okay, I'll devil's advocate myself. So the idea is everyone that you care about this game is really squishy, and they're not really going to be building armor. Ivern's not going to build armor. Ivern generally isn't building armor. Ari's building armor. Nautilus dies anyway. Who cares? Ashe is going to die, and you want to be able to burst them. So the whole point is they're playing as like this burst assassin version of the build. But fun fact, Sundered Sky still does that. You have enough damage naturally on Pantheon. They're able to get that done. Now Tangent aside, knows for 2. Diving on towards Thunder McBusters, but the Grandmaster Arms better used by a champion that builds AP. They're going to find this kill on the bot side of the fight here. Now look at top. Derizen did pop that Spirit Rush. Doesn't want to go on forward into Soez. They've got the Demacian Justice, so you're playing with 30% of your HP bar just gone.
Yeah. And the Garen's getting to that point, and this might be a Soez game. Maybe this is why they were talking about, in the weekly reading about this being a top lane matchup, because the Soez is definitely showing a lot more, I guess, agency for himself. Not that Brecken played bad on the Scion, but it just didn't seem to have the same effect that this Garen is having now as Grafuka. Oh my gosh.
Hey.
Boost this. This is 2 games in a row. I have to shout this dude out, because that is some insane footwork. We saw it in game 1 with the encore, where he just like sort of slow steps away twice, and everything else that he was making Grafuko miss, or no, domination miss on the Seraphine, and now this game too. Like that's like the second or third hook that probably would have hit 90% of players, especially in Diamond and under, and he's just done such a good job. So that was a definite kill had that landed. Okay. So interestingly enough,
I'm shocked, a little shocked Domination doesn't throw like a really early arrow there.
Yeah.
The timer's great for Dragon, pop arrow and then have Grafuko follow up with the hook as well to kind of cut off both angles. But regardless, going to be holding on to that now. You've got 2 items in this Ashe, so they're definitely a threat here, and that's a new item I haven't seen. I think there's a reason I haven't seen that item a lot. I'm going to assume that's the case. So, full AD lethality from the Pantheon. You've got one way in, no way out here, and you're not really the front line I feel like the Sylas wants to have.
Yeah, I think maybe the idea is you send the Grand Starfall in, turret dive, and then once you hit them, then you're just going to basically demolish. You're going to be like a 500 stack Nasus onto that turret. So I guess we'll see how it ends up going. But yeah, I never see that either, so it's interesting though. But I mean, that's kind of like what Riot has been trying to push is itemization differences between all these different champions. So they may get it here. We might see an Enchanted Crystal Arrow come out here now. Oh, we do, but it's from the Sylas. I was going to say, I thought they were going to pull the trigger there, because they did have 2 more people sitting right behind him, including the Ivern, who now has the Lichbane purchased. I thought we were going to see Dusk and Dawn, but I guess we're going for the Lichbane here on this Ivern. So definitely interesting choices.
Okay, Witch Hat looking for the fight. Got stopped with the charm. Now Mom doing some damage, getting some stacks. Boostus has to be very, very close in terms of stacks. I don't know if we can check that, but I'm going to be guessing probably sitting around the 200 mark right now, especially if they're fighting this. Could be something you have to worry about. They're going to find this pick on a Derizen. Had to flash no Spirit Rush as well, so Thunder McBuster's going to keep up perfectly fine. Spirit Rush now ready with the hijack. Going on to Domination. They're going to try and find it, but no angle earned. Still, Dragon going over to tech for now. I don't know, and I don't want Conduit to contest this. They're going to be pushing mid here, which I 100% believe in is the right decision. But just don't get engaged on here, right? Don't get engaged on. Okay. Everything's okay for Conduit.
We don't just hold.
I don't want to be in the muck for much longer.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, on the backside of that play, like, yes, they get to dive the Ari, no Spirit Rush, wasn't able to get out. But at the same time that they were doing that, yeah.
Come on, man. Right. What are you doing there?
I didn't even see what happened there. But Boostus was able to literally just face check the entire side of Genesis there as well at the same time, as we are going to get Arrow for Cleanse coming out from Domination and Boosted. So a little bit of a trade-off there. Obviously, the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, now that they are level 12, is going to be... Still has a decently long enough cooldown, and Silas hopefully uses this a little bit better than they did last time to maybe start something off. But yeah, Boostus was able to just kind of sit there, and the other three able to go after Derizen around that dragon, and basically with no downside to it. So as this keeps going on and Boostus starts doing a little bit more and more damage, like, it's going to get even crazier and more dangerous for the side of CEG, as now they are trying to hop on two fights at the same time.
Two fights at the same time. Top also broken up. Thunder McBusters being pretty slow around not having the Spirit Rush. They're waiting for all their cooldowns before they do anything if they're going to be fighting without that ability to hijack, so it's perfectly fine. But it's another game here where I do want to see a team start playing around the Baron a little more. Start tapping it, try to blow a TP, try it, and make something happen. Not again. Theory of everything. You guys got to slow down on these face checks. Please, please stop face checking bushes.
Which is interesting too, because they were running their whatchamacallit at the same time as Daisy's going to come out and see if I thought the Arrow was going to come out as well, but maybe they're just not on the same pages now. So isn't Derizen on the bot side, and the 1-3-1 coming out from TEQ is getting matched with a lot of preparation for this Baron fight. They are now doing what you said, playing around that Baron and getting ready to posture and maybe try to take it, depending on how everything goes here on the bot side. But I do like this out of Genesis.
Ash is just alone clearing the wave, perfectly fine. But you need. I feel like if you're gonna leave the Ashe alone and you're gonna hover her, then you pull her and you clear the wards. Ivern's doing that alone, which always leaves an opportunity for somebody to cross map. You don't have the best information on where Silas is. Your ward is super deep, so you know he hasn't crossed a mid lane yet, unless he's taken the long way, which is fine. But it's just very risky to do that without pulling more people,
especially with Pantheon.
Yeah, Pantheon has Grand Starfall. Silas could be sitting in that Tribe Rush waiting for you. So a little risky, but not like a big worry, all things considered there. But I was really hoping they hard focus on pushing that wave, like show all four there, push the wave, and then just walk to Baron as 4, clear that pink. And you're kind of hoping to, you'll drop pressure bot side. You're hoping for the Garen to hard shove a wave and TP. You see that TP, you run. The whole point is you're just trying to blow that TP to give yourselves a good advantage here. As now Tangent is over. Boost is going to get engaged upon, though. Nautilus Hook is eaten up with a good flash. Grafuko still found that depth charge. Now here comes Counter-Strike to the backside. Only finds Witch Black Hat. Happy to eat this damage. Pop that Magnetic Storm. They're going to die in a couple seconds here as the hijack depth charge goes to the back line. Proton Platplayer is going to pick the kill to Noodles for 2 there. Somehow the first to fall in this entire fight. Never mind, was the second. Now looking for more to fall here. Grand Starfall is going to cut through the entirety of Conduit. Theory of everything coming online. Looking for more. Derizen's going to pick up a shutdown, but at what cost? It's a double kill for Soez.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I think Derizen might have saved that entire fight with that well-timed charm, because as soon as Thunder came in on the Silas, that charm hit immediately, and it was so good to see. It was so clean. It was perfect. But it just wasn't enough, as now we're seeing like that extra speed boost that Proton has and the ability to get into the back line. And then also Grafuko, you are not tanky enough to be doing that. You can't be that kind of a front line. And Noodles unfortunately got a little bit too far into the back line as well. Did trade a kill on the front of that, but like, yeah, that was a very clean fight from TEQ. They let CEG come just a little bit too far and overextend, and then just kind of turned it around on them. So that was like playing their position almost as well as CEG did in the first game, to where they just said, okay, we get hit, our priority target was hit, or their priority target was hit. They are going to overcommit for this, which is exactly what Genesis did. And now, like, you've got them on the back line. That's a ton of gold that just went your way to sort of like get this closer to even, which is where you want to be if you're TEQ. Like, the closer to even that you are, especially with the 208 Smolder, the better off you are. And now we're seeing a lot of jock game for position as they're going to try to take this dragon. We'll see if a steal or a bad fight can come out.
Just gonna pick up the dragon alone now. The fight though, Conduit want to try and do something, but it's Cloud Soul. You look at that speed. They're gonna go re-engage on this fight. Spirit Rush to this backside. It's a hijack one. Dariz is gonna get bursted down, chased down by Thunder McBusters. Now turning the sights onto the rest of Conduit. Just been collapsing under the weight of the slower fight. Knows for two though. Still left here alone on this fight there, but it's the Smolder finished up on the stacks a while ago, helping the rest of T-Tech just take this fight in droves.
Yeah, Theory of Evolution got exactly what they wanted and then baited them once again. Like we had just got done talking about how they let them come to them and then they turned it on him. And then once again, as soon as that dragon was burned down, which was pretty quick, didn't even have time for the teleport to come in from Darizen. As soon as that teleport hit, the dragon was already dead. They started just going back, and then once they were in a position where they had no vision, they probably should have just backed off Genesis, but they didn't. So good job from Theory of Everything to just take what was given to them and then just turn that around. And which on this rel, so much better than the Senna. Not saying that they're a bad Senna, but this is such a better pick for them because they were able to lock down 3 members, including Domination on the Ashe, during that entire fight, while Boostus was just kept safe and alive. And even though Proton almost died at the beginning, they didn't die, so there was no recourse for what ended up happening there. So I really like this pick from them. It's coming out and working really well. As now,
Under the tower, Domination. Yeah, goodbye, buddy.
Yeah,
goodbye.
Heal, not even enough, probably wasted, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, that was just...
At this point.
Yeah, that
doesn't matter at this point.
No, and that's usually what we see from the side of the Ashe players, right?
Might be botched in the tower. Which hat's gonna fall first? PTA helping to deal a lot of extra damage, but the rest of the members still kicking, and so is in the bot side doing work. Darizen with the counter-strike and the flash. They're gonna fight Boostus low, looking for more. Darizen picking that up on the resets. Conduit have turned it. They've turned a mistake into a win.
Yeah, you can't. There's one thing when you have a tanky team and you're building kind of like this off-brand kind of stuff, you cannot let that stuff happen. And unfortunately for the side of TQ, they do. Theory of Evolution, they are going to rely on the Soez, though. He is going to get... yeah, a little bit. I think he was thinking Komarobi was going to be a little bit more help, but he wasn't. And yeah, rightfully so. I think he actually does 1v3 them if they chase him and they don't play that perfectly. So good job from Soez to kind of answer that, keep his team alive after the rest of your team makes a huge mistake like that. For you to be able to keep your wits about you, get the inhibitor, which is kind of what you were going for anyways. You know, good job by him. I want to see TQ. I want to see them go to a better style of sieging. They do have the tools to do it, to just kind of like sit there and then get Boostus more stacks while being able to press the advantage of the lane and get some minions into the backside. As now it does look like they are going to pincer around this Ahri, but they got to do a better job.
TP years ago, Darizen, to get out of here. I don't know if a life at this moment. I mean, there's no objective on the map, I guess. So it's like a fine time. You're dying in garbage time. Your bot side's picking up a tower. So honestly, not that bad. Not gonna criticize it. I was winding up for that, but Domination. Ooh, good discipline, and Thunder McBuster just gonna show right away.
Yeah, but
Noodle's getting pushed down.
Thunder could have used the Nautilus ult, but chose not to there, as now so
that was a winnable 1v2.
Yeah, I think so as well, especially if you can kill that Ashe before anybody can get there. But
just keep the game slow.
Yeah, but this is what they need to do, right? Like you have the Cloud Soul. You want to keep the pressure on all these lanes. You do not want to overcommit again and get caught out, as we see now that CEG, they do have the tools that if you do lump up and you do stay a little bit too far, they can punish you. So TEQ going back to what was working for them, and I really like this decision to just kind of slow this game back down and do what is needed from them to win, because they can't just bum rush and do whatever they want. They can't just smack them around with their wallets at this point. But
it's not a wallet smack, but they could definitely just bum rush you down. They just have to do it as a 5. Yeah. As long as they're able to do that at the same time as a 5 on the right, like 1 or 2 targets, perfectly acceptable play strat, like way to play. But they've been a little disjointed at times, which has costed them. They've kind of had the wrong angles, had the wrong targets, or overdove in the case of the last time with onto Derizen. But
Yeah.
I don't think Sari's going to get very much stronger in this game. Has been holding on to that Oblivion Orb for a long time, so that's your last item as a Morello. But Zanya's done. You can't really bum rush the Ahri. It's kind of all eyes on this Ashe, and if you're burning so much to get to the Ashe at the backside, I worry for this tech squad. What?
Yeah. I mean, you do still also have the Ivern, who is not going to be as effective.
We don't. Oh. Okay. Yeah, punished. Deserved. Punished. Gonna find this Derizen. Looking for a charm at that moment. I like the idea. Is the execution gonna be there? And so far, Conduit are continuing to say yes. It's all on the Thunderbolt Buster, but the Ashe Arrow gonna stop that in its tracks here. Conduit pick it up. Soa's split pushing to end. Bills for Dew's gonna pop up the Zanyas though. Base race starting up here. Calls are coming in from on top. They have to get this reset. Ivern's on the first reset. The only one down so far. No one's stopping these backs from Tech here. Soa's left alone in the space. Gonna try and take down this third inhibitor. Tech doing what they can to work. Soa's been playing these side lanes really well.
Dude, Soa's is carrying this game right now. Is gonna get caught out by domination. Does have the flash to get out, but Komarobi with the flash there. I don't really like that because now you've overcommitted to the west side when the Elder Dragon is up. Not that you can really contest it too much, but if there's anybody that should be contesting it, it would be Komarobi on this Ivern. So now you have Soa's teleporting down as well to the bot lane. So they are giving up the base race, and yeah,
there's still one more. They've got the Silas TP to make this work as well, and Derizen's going to show up on the top side. Conduit got a good spot, popped off on the Zoes. They're going to pick up this kill now as Proton Plat Player is going to go to the backside, finds this Great Starfall, but can't quite get the burst onto Domination, trying to close the gap. Spear finally clear hard of Domination. Derizen's bought so much time here though. GA finally popped onto this Pantheon here. Derizen also finally going to fall. They're going to CC down this Pantheon, but look at the damage that's left. None. They've got Noodles for 2, having to clear waves here. Grafuko getting away as best as they can, but it's a Nautilus, man. It's the rule. You die, you gotta stay dying. Unfortunately for Conduit here, it's all into Noodles for 2, and they don't really have the wave clear to Jax.
No, they don't, and I don't think that he is going to be able to do this without the thing either, but does get into the back here, maybe. Nope. Yeah, no. I was about to say, some sort of hero play would have had to come out. I think Komarobi would have had to get there a little bit sooner. And then, yeah, they just got to the point where they just could not handle the damage from TEQ. And TEQ now have turned it around once again. You know, for a team that was so down and out, you know, you get the roster swap, and then Genesis comes through in game 1 and just, like, slowly and methodically take them out. You say you want more agency along with the scaling, and that's exactly what they give you. And yeah, everybody on this team just pulling up a lot better than they did last game from, I think Boostus played really well on the Mel in the first one. But Proton, definitely better on the Pantheon. Witch Hat, huge upgrade into the Rel. Was so good at creating space and keeping the rest of the Conduit team in front of Boostus that entire time. So as on this Garen, just creating so much havoc on the side lanes, and even when it came time for the team fights, just was able to get on top of 2-3 people. And then this Mantheon just going in with an all lethality build, even though you have the Silas, you have the Garen, and of course the Smolder for damage. Like, I like it. And on a match where you actually miss out on a couple of bans, like, to be able to pull that up, kudos to them.
It's really good.
That's kind of insane. I did not think they were going to be able to pull it out. I don't know if if Genesis was just trying to go for, like, comfort here or just have fun or whatever, but I don't know about the Ivern pick. If you're going to go Ivern here, when you have the R, you have the Ashe and Jax for damage, maybe a more standard Ivern could work, but I think he wanted to match the Pantheon.
Damage was pretty damage was pretty low regardless. So I don't mind it there. It's really just getting picked so much, so often, so frequently. They were just getting caught out on sides. Derizen kind of just runs out of damage with an Ahri build like that, very much based around someone else being there that has damage, which typically you're looking at champions like a Xin Zhao to be that person. Ivern's just not really like the Ivern here. I get the pick of like it works, it can work, but you have to be playing around your jacks much more heavily. And
Yeah.
that just wasn't the case. So unfortunately for CEG, just run out of steam at the end there. We saw them try and get going, but not able to get it done at the end of the day. We're going on to game 3, which is pretty exciting here on Cast. We'll see you after the short break with that draft. Welcome back, everybody. Game 3, excitingly, coming underway shortly. We saw Game 1, a disciplined and a little slower style from Conduit than what we saw from the weeks earlier, but continuing to keep that pressure up nice and high. In theory of everything, not really match up in the strength department there. But they brought out the big guns for Game 2, super aggressive. A Silas into Ari that was down at some points like 60 farm. Was still able to carry a game. So it looked super fun to see. Now both teams kind of back into a corner here. Theory of everything, once again, playoff hopes are still alive if they win this series. If they lose it, they're pretty confidently out of the running. So a lot riding this Conduit, though. 3 is in terms of your wins, and they're at 2. So obviously they want to get this done. So both teams, this is not like a nothing burger of a series here. This is a very important series, and they definitely want to end it out on a win.
Yeah, no, it definitely is huge, implications for both of these guys, and especially for TEQ. They want to say, hey, we came in here on a team that was basically down and out, and like we switched it and changed it around, and then got them to the playoffs and everything. And for Conduit, like prior to last week, they were 1-2. They were on a 2-game losing streak, and then they just like they come back and they fight and they get a win, and then they win again, and then. Come back in Game 1 here and get that first win. Think that they're going to be cruising into it, but TQ says, no, we're good. We're going to take one of these wins and we're going to make this into a series. And like you said, both of these teams really want this. Like, you want to make the playoffs. You want to have a shot. You want to give yourself a chance to lose to Alicia Monks, and you want to get in there. Okay. But I'm rooting for the old dudes. I don't know about you, but yeah, no, you want to get into the playoffs. Anything can happen once you get there. So yeah, both teams playing like it too, and I love I loved how much of an adaptation that was from Theory of Everything. And that last one is now, we're getting into these bans here. We're going to see very similar bans, except for TEQ is going to ban a couple more champions than they decided to last time. As you do get the or the brand, Sivir and J4, and then Varus, Fiddlesticks, and Oriana. And the B1 is going to be used on Tristana.
So Brecky is back, which is why they have the bans. No, they are.
Okay.
Because if they have bans, they have Brecky. If they don't have bans, they have SOAs. Unless they only had to serve out one game. We're not really sure how the rule book works. I would say, thankfully, I don't have to be a master of the rule book to cast here at Titan. Maybe that'd be useful. Maybe that'd be great insight that I should have. But sorry, my bad.
Yeah, I do know that during draft and in the post game, the Brecky Hill was still there. So it may end up being that he is back. May not, as we are going to get the Xayah as the answer into the Tristana, which I don't hate. If she W's in, she pops in, you are going to have that as some more lockdown for this Tristana, as well as a champion you're extremely familiar with for Witch Hat is the Leona.
Yeah, and Rakan isn't terrible here. Braum is much better, and I do like this swap. You can go Rakan to Leona. The typical thing is, oh, she can just prep her Q stun and it'll stop your W. If you're not planning to have that ability hit you at that moment and you're not prepping the Q, there isn't enough time to stop it, actually. So Rakan can get away with a lot of bull. But Braum much better in the Leona, much better in the dive coming at them from the side of Tech, and I'd expect to be coming into the second round here. Ban's going to be focused on making sure that is the case, taking away Ryze and Aurora, two champions that can definitely play at that range and still find success. So looking like Tech just want to make sure that they can get some good matchups, make sure they don't have to deal with a tank killer. Fiora definitely signals to me that they're looking at a usual tank or Aatrox, which I highly doubt the Aatrox.
Well, CG is going to show their first hand, and they're going to pick up their mid laner. We are going to see Derizen on the Veigar, which I really like here. And yeah, I would have much rather seen the Rakan, especially with the Xayah. There's so much fun little like Easter eggy almost addition that you get with that lane. But the Braum probably is the better pick. I just don't like it as much. It's not going to be as fun to watch as Boostus is Thunder is going to be up on this Victor here, which is what you wanted to see last time, and it kind of serves the same purpose up against Veigar as it does the Ahri. For one, you're not going to be giving him free stacks. Oh, I like that pick. You're not going to be just giving him away free stacks because you are going to be able to play at range, and you're going to have the wave clear to just kind of shove in. And with Victor into Veigar, one of the problems with Veigar, obviously it's taken out in the team context a little bit, but the ability to just shove in and roam and have so much agency around the map while Veigar has to try to like last hit or waste his mana with his W on the back line or like whatever. So I do like the pick from TEQ here, and Renekton into Urgot is going to be a lot of fun to watch, and then the Trundle into the Xin Zhao. I really do think that for some reason Trundle just seems to work better, at least as I've seen, in the top lane instead of in the jungle. I feel like you just get a lot more out of him, especially with his ability to just like sneeze on towers and knock them down. And Xin Zhao just does so much. So if Veigar can get some people in the baby cage locked down, Xin Zhao's gonna have a hell of a time just going in there and just having fun and creating havoc. So I really do like both of these drafts for different reasons. Trundle is also like basically a free flash machine. You come in the lane, drop a pillar, and they kind of have to flash to get away. So I really like both of these drafts for different reasons. This time CEG is on the scaling side, where they are going to have the Veigar, and you get 40 minutes into this one, and he's going to be able to delete your tank. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one goes. How are you feeling about this half?
Tank is a very generous way to put the Leona and the Renekton. Combined, they're definitely a solid front line, but alone, these champions are not going to be the tankiest individuals, and they're going to be running pretty obviously just running at you. And you look at who they're running at: a Veigar, an Urgot, a Xayah. Even the Xin Zhao can kind of also play that anti-dive peel style that's needed on top of the Braum. I didn't even mention Braum in that dive. So the big thing for Tech is going to be just forcing Conduit to engage, forcing them to be in a situation where they have to get uncomfortable. They have to even like I'm looking at their engage options. It is kind of Xin Zhao or Braum. And if your engage is flash Winter's Bite on Braum, you're in a very terrible spot. Game getting underway here. Both teams hopefully adapting to what's been going on around this level ones. Not auto walking to the enemy banana brush and getting chunked for half would be very good, or dying. And they've got nose for two here, playing a bouncer. Derizen's showing up and to find some damage. Flash with the burger flip. They found Thunder McBuster, who failed the flash. Oh no. Still just barely able to get away alive. Or not alive, dead, but Flash did get burned from Derizen there.
It did, but you also got the auto attack kill for your Veigar, which is a huge, it's just a huge, I guess that's like crap talking or whatever you want to say. Like that should never happen, and it did. So that's pretty awesome that I got to see that today. So happy 4th to me seeing that. But yeah, right as you say it, you cast a curse at it right into existence there.
Well, they shouldn't
I
do
know.
that.
Yeah, I
Not my
know.
fault.
But they were ready for it, and
Hmm.
one of the teams is going to be ready for this level 1 and has been paying attention, and that team was Conduit Genesis, and they were prepared, they were ready, and it was almost like they knew exactly what was going to happen, so they just postured for it, right? Like you
Hmm.
had the Urgot sitting right there, you had the Xin Shao and the Vagar, and unfortunately for Thunder, he missed his flash. Not that no, it probably would have mattered because then you wouldn't have gotten so low that you would have
Yeah,
died to
if
a
he just
flash auto.
immediately flashed over the wall,
Hmm.
um, could have been fine, or even just away towards tower and mid
Yeah.
lane, probably would have been fine. But that's like a what if scenario, and those are kind of not the best to ever really talk about. So in general,
Yeah.
though, they've got the kill. Derizen's got the lead that they honestly desperately need in a matchup like this. They're just going to get poked down. They're just going to be dealing with
Yeah.
mana issues into Thunder McBuster on the Victor. So it's a sigh of relief. And on top of that, for Komaribi, oh my god, I've said it like 5 different ways. I'm so sorry. For Como, they don't really have to gank mid as much anymore. It's been done. They got the kill for the the Vigar. As long as Derizen just plants their feet and chills out, because Victor's just going to be pushing and roaming. Call the push and roams. I feel like you're in a very fine spot, and now you can focus on your side lanes here as the Zin's out.
Yeah, but you have to focus on your side lanes here as a Xin Shao. Like when you have a lane that is basically ungankable, the enemy team knows that as well, right? Like the Risen shouldn't be pushing up, shouldn't be getting themselves into a position where they're getting ganked. So that means that the other team knows it as well, that you really can't do much here for your mid lane. So that means that Koma's gonna have to get into that top lane. He's gonna have to help his Urgot out and get Soaz so far behind on this Renekton that they can't do anything. So that's what I kind of want to see out of them. You picked a very aggressive, wanna fight jungler in the Xin Shao. So make it work and get into these lanes and don't just let them free scale forever.
Yeah, it just has to be urgency coming in from both junglers, to be honest. You mentioned the flash machine that is Trundle Pillar is going to
Yeah.
have to get active, and I never got to kind of talk about it, but you mentioned like you don't really like Trundle in the jungle, and I get it because of how jungle always is. Every game, if you kind of look for a couple of seconds, you'll see every jungler get stuck around 2 to 3 items, and that's as strong as they're ever going to get.
Right.
Trundle at 3 items comes alive and becomes that raid boss. You can subjugate any HP tank and you just become an unstoppable menace in a backline. You're like an Olaf, essentially.
Yeah.
Um, and that's why Olaf is seeing priority now, is because any person is talking about like, well, I want Trundle, I want something to run down. You can just pick Olaf and do the same thing, and you can't get CC'd. Not saying they should pick Olaf here. They don't have an enchanter, and Olaf would really, really like an enchanter. Trundle can kind of live without that, and that's his little niche in the grand scheme of things in the sandbox that is League of Legends. So still nothing happening. Of course, Dragon hasn't quite spawned yet, but up in a little bit here. I don't think either team. Well, I would hope Tech tries to push it. They've got the Trundle at the bot side. Xin Zhao's also here. But Leona's really strong at this point in the game, man. She's really hard to kill and can dish out some hurt.
Yeah, and I think this should go to Tech. Like you have the Victor, just get prio and shove the mid lane and do what you're supposed to, and then on that should give you basically every dragon, and potentially depending on how Noodles and Soaz go in the top lane, should potentially give you every top side objective. So the Grubs and the Rift should go to them as well. It does look like they're going to try to press this this bot lane, as we're going to get double ganks here, as Komarobi is going to go after the Victor.
Go for the Victor. They're going to force the flash very close on the oh my good lord, primordial burst from Derizen. But regardless, a gank nonetheless. Another flash gone here for Thunder McBusters. I think they've had a grand total of about 10 seconds, 15 seconds where they've had it. So it's going to get blown. But Tech, happy to pick up this dragon still. Kind of into their waiting arms, but is it worth a mid flash?
I think so. As long as Thunder plays correctly and doesn't just give the give the opportunity for Komarebi to come back on the Xin Zhao and get another bad angle. I mean, that was a great angle for Xin Zhao, obviously, but like a bad angle that you don't want to be getting ganked from behind as a Victor, and that's kind of like where they have to go, right? Like Victor has so much range that it's hard to gank from the brushes. You have to get behind him, so the Xin Zhao doing exactly what they need to do. The only problem is that you end up missing the dragon on the backside is now Soez kind of caught up.
Oh yeah, I did. Kind of caught out, kind of too far forward. You got no vision, brother. What you doing?
Yeah, and that's two really successful ganks coming out from Komarebi on this Xin Zhao in a row, right? Like, uh-oh. There is an almost caught out there, but you get the free flash out of Thunder, and you almost get the kill on the Victor in the mid lane. Come right back. As soon as you're back on the map, you go straight to the top, and you kill the Renekton. So very strong presence from Como in this game. I like what I'm seeing from them. That is exactly what we were talking about earlier that they need to do. They need to be active. They need to go in and try to get as much as they can for their laners. The one thing that I would like to see is maybe pair that up with an objective on the back end there, as does look like Proton was trying to get there as well to answer that gank, but was seen on vision, and so is playing a little aggressive. It's going to make anybody back off there. So the trades for the most part are going Soez's way. He's doing a very good job on this Renekton to keep Urgot on his toes. But now the Void Grub's coming up, and Komarebi is going to get steal one, but now caught up.
Now they're caught out, getting ran down, subject to get burned. Pillar's already gone. Komarebi going to go on 4. Doesn't have Crescent Guard to defend themselves, so Thunder McBusters might just get this one delivered to them. They can find the laser here. Yeah, there it goes. First one going to fall, but stopped the grubs. Now at what cost? Don't ignore that. I'm going to just pop W and make it through the tower. Had 2 more tower shots there, by the way, on Leona, so definitely not a tanky champion whatsoever. Looking at Soez, though, you're talking about they're winning every trade. It's those plated steel caps, man. Those just nuke Urgot's damage this early on, because you aren't going to buy it. You can't buy a lot of AP because naturally you don't have gold, and your damage is limited at a very low amount before level 9. Level 5 in the ability here. Dominus popped from Soez. Doesn't quite want to keep going. Too close to the tower. Enough mana here from Noodles for 2 that you want to be careful. But with Dominus down, with Dominus down, I'd say you just look for a reset here. Cash in with what you've got, and just kind of be happy that you didn't die on this reset.
Yeah, and I think Witch Hat a little aggressive on the Leona. I really like the play call. Obviously, you're not going to go 100 for 100 on your swings. So did sort of miss a little bit on the trying to get the Zenith Blade out there, but was able to at least affect the play to the point where they did end up get the kill anyways. So I do like the call. I like the aggressiveness that both of these teams are showing now. Komarebi and Proton are being very active on these junglers, and they're almost mirroring each other with how aggressive they're being. They're just at different spots. And then I do like that they are fighting over objectives. It's not just a clear, free objective every single time. Like, I think that if they had actually killed Thunder on that first gank from the Xin Zhao, that they probably would have turned towards the dragon and tried to contest it. But yeah, just Proton's getting a little bit luckier or more fortunate, I guess, is a way to put it. As we see he is not going to get caught from that same angle again, as we were saying earlier.
Yeah, just not a whole lot, not as much happening as I'd expect, especially with a Xin Zhao team. I'm always looking for Xin Zhao's to be as aggressive as possible, and I'm always looking for Leona's, even into Braum, to try something out at level 6. Maybe they just hit it and I haven't been paying attention too much. That's probably what happened. But once you have Solar Flare on Leona, you can really look for Lane Blaze. It's very much a possibility. You can use your ult for Featherstorm. The Solar Flare for Featherstorm always benefits Leona.
Oh, yeah.
And especially looking before this play, you're going to burn Cleanse probably instead of the ultimate, so that's another thing that you don't have to worry about. So I'd honestly be looking for Witch Hat Black Mass. I want to get their full name at least once in a stream now, as Soa's going to go into top side. Point stop. Soa's caught out again. Dominus pop. Derision going to get caught out in the mid lane there too. Stunned up. Now going to run into their own. Proton Black player's going to pick up that one. Soa's staying alive. Komorabi going to take a lot of damage from the tower. Oof. And Noodles for 2 going to take as well. Soa is starting to smell a little bit of blood, but slowed down just for those couple seconds that they need to live. No play needed at the bot side, though, with Xin Zhao getting spotted top.
Yeah, and they're going to get a free dragon out of this, and luckily for Proton, once again, like, his jungle camps are all cleared, right? I think his blue is about to start open, but, like, he's doing a great job of making sure that his jungle is not getting stolen when he's making these plays. So they do get a dragon. They're going to be able to steal some resources of their own, as Como is actually getting, looks like the wolf camp from them. So doing the right thing, you know, trying to make these cross-map plays and suck the resources dry, but it's just not happening for them, as it does look like now. It should sort of settle down here. I don't think that very much is going to happen on this point, but it does look like Noodles is trying to get some space so that they can back here's the Hex Tech.
Is it a kill? Not at all. It's just stacks.
A lot of stacks, but yes, just stacks.
True. It's a lot of stacks, but it is just stacks at the end of the day, not a kill at all. No pressure to do it, of course. Herald coming up in like 3.5 minutes here, so we're kind of just in a waiting room right now, waiting for the next objective, waiting for these teams to feel pressure to make another play again. And I think that's perfectly fine. They are going back to that Game 1 style, but that Game 1 style benefited Conduit much, much more, and I think in this game, it's a lot muddier. The issue in Game 1 was just the lack of engage that Tech had. So when there were situations where they probably could have actually pushed something, they just did not have the tools other than Scion Onslaught. Unrelenting Onslaught, or whatever it's called. The ultimate. You could just run at them really quick and maybe let a knock up on a Derision. And that would never work out. Now in this game, they've got much more options to make that work. So in a scaling game, it is much more of a toss-up here. And really, you are kind of looking at this Renekton and Urgot matchup, again, to be that difference maker, as Noodles for 2s get them quite low. Not enough to kill. Needed to stop that W, so that way they weren't hitting the minions, but still low enough to cause presence for Soa's. Thunder McBuster's in the area. Noodles for 2, might need no disdain. Does have flash coming up in a couple seconds here. Should be able to get away in theory. Flash might have to get burned there. Solar Flare is going to come on out, force the flash away. Witch Hat calls it off after that.
That's a couple flashes for a flash, plus the Solar Flare, plus, yeah. Noodles, I thought, was caught there. Like, I didn't think he was going to be able to get away from that, especially with the amount of summoners and everything available. So great job by him to just kind of make that happen and drew so much attention to the top side. Unfortunately, there's not much they can do, but Witch Hat looking to be...
2 flashes on a roam. It's really good, and this is going to be a kill here. Finally, Noodles for 2 going to get followed with the flash. Subjugate has been burned. Now looking to find this burst in a Proton Pop player, taking a lot of damage. Not very tanky, and not as much damage as I was expecting out of a Trundle. I'm going to be so honest. How, like, it looked like he kind of healed him.
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit. He did end up getting the subjugate. I think what he tried to do was flash to kind of stop the E from the Urgot to get like very far away, but he was just a little bit too far to be able to get that off there. So Derision now with the Proto Belt on the Veigar. That's 2 times now that they've been able to close the gap onto somebody. So I don't see that built very often on that champion, but it's kind of cool to see. Especially since it's worked for them twice. So interesting to see how that transitions into the late game if they're able to get a cage onto like 2 or 3 members that they weren't going to be able to. As Witch Hat there's a flashless top laner. How many times do you in solo queue want to see somebody come back after burning summoners? Well, Soez is getting that treatment right now.
Soez is getting that treatment right now, but the stun's going to miss. Still able to find that one from Soez. Layered pretty well. They're trying to find this burst under the Urgot here. He's getting quite low. No Fear Beyond Death either burned. They're just super dead with that pillar as well. One more disdain to copy it. Oh, now, can you get something into the tower? Fear Beyond Death's going to land on a Soez. 2 more tower shots needed. 1 more needed. Ooh. Soez going to fall the slow. It goes 1 for 1. They're going to pick up the mid tower too. Conduit Gaming on top.
I mean, I know you died. But is there anything more worth than that to basically get a retread or a retry of the same gank that just failed And then they burn everything once again to get you, and you
Just
still
one
make
hit.
it out with the kill in a 1v3, as Derision is taken down quite low here. But yeah, that's exactly what you want if you're the Urgot, and that is so tilting for the side of TEQ. Like, if they keep trying this, like, it's just going to, like, kill them. But another fight, they're not done yet.
They're not done yet. Domination getting ran down. Forced spot that Featherstorm. Proton Plat player able to pick up that kill and to pull back on the Feathers. Didn't find anything. Just away scot-free. Eyes are starting to set onto this dragon, spawning here in 10 seconds. They've got the troll zone, and so is showing up in the area. Dominus in a couple seconds. They're going to find this engage onto Witch Hat, try to do as much as they can, live as long as they can to get some CC down, but finally get a fall here. It's 4v4 on the play. A little messy from both sides as of right now, but the space by Conduit is an advantage simply because the champions are just better in the space. They don't have to engage. They don't have to make any mistakes. And it turns out Noodles didn't seem to like that playstyle at all. They're going to fall Soaz continuing on forward. Tech have turned it on its head.
Yeah, right as you say it, they're like, yeah, this is working out. This is exactly, nah, screw this. I'm going in. Yeah, that was a great play to start that out by Genesis. You know, you're down your ADC and you're still able to get a kill on the backside and get what you want, even though it was just the support without Solar Flare. But you got what you wanted. You ended up winning that as, and then it just makes a bonehead mistake, very out of character for Noodles as well. We haven't seen him make a lot of these kind of mistakes, so just a little bit of an out of character mistake that he makes, but it does end up costing them another kill, and especially since Derision had locked down 3 inside that cage. Like, maybe if he had pulled that trigger sooner, but you know, once you guys miss that window of opportunity, you got to wait for another one to come up. So like I said, I don't think that's going to happen very many more times here for Noodles, but TEQ, great job taking advantage of the mistakes when they come to them.
Tech are back and awake and ready to try and push a win in this game here. A lot of time has been spent in these side lane in between plays, and they've definitely, I mean, I'll just say it, they haven't been looking the best at all on their side laning and how they're responding to plays. Noodles has been able to live multiple times, going 1-for-1 consistently. They haven't really been able to punish the Tristana at all in the mid. They haven't really been able to punish the Tristana hasn't been able to punish the too much either. Now they're on top because of their fight wins, and their fights have been looking phenomenal. They are getting everything they want and more. Conduit Esports have just been kind of sending it at really weird moments. The Noodles play especially, but every single one of these dragons was bought off the back of Conduit making some mistake. One player just making one mistake, and Tech being ready for it, and that's the comp they've got here. But could be another mistake here as the Event Horizon going to get burned. Grafuko going to miss the winner's bite there. Everything whiffing. Arcane Storm popped and not even keeping up. Everyone kind of wants to forget that one happened.
Yeah, I think, except for Thunder, I want him. He wants to remember. Now we might end up getting a counter gank here, which would be awesome from Witch Hat if they can make it happen. But Derision playing a little bit too smart for that to actually happen. And I like that from them. Like, it's good to be able to actually hold on and make the right call. Sometimes just chilling is, you know, the not fun call is the best call. And we've seen that from game 1, and now we're seeing it again here as Noodles and Soa is fighting again. And Noodles is now starting with the Black Cleaver purchased, is starting to get a lot of damage down on this Urgot. So Soa is not going to have the fun time that he was having before, where the plated steel caps were just completely saving him. Now it's going to get a lot harder for him to deal with this, but is going to end up catching
some damage.
Noodles.
One tower shot did get picked up. Dominus putting in a lot of work to stay in here. Fearbound Death, so is going to get bursted down. One more auto need. You got to turn off the W. Doesn't matter. Noodles going to pick up the solo kill top side. Witch Hat did find a good knockup on to the tower with the Herald, but losing your top laner, you're losing your top tower. Tech are getting picked apart in this lull state.
Yeah, I think they did end up getting a little bit of damage onto that tier 2, but not enough to make that worth it. I think that's the Shelly is down now as well. And the teleport coming out from there. Urgot is going to get blocked.
Nice, good block there from Proton Plat player. It's kind of a given. This is just dead here. Going back into the mid lane. They forced Boostus out of here. No flash, still able to get away with the rocket jump. Oh, that's an Event Horizon and a half there. Not quite dragged in as the real thing, but Black Hat has to flash now.
I mean, the Derizen on this Vagar is getting a lot of these cages down really well. Just even if you don't catch them on the outside, it's doing enough to just sort of like get them, um, pigeonholed into a spot. And now Soa's coming through. It does look like they're going to try to chase this down. You do have the dragon up in about a minute, so they do want to posture for vision and positioning here. But yeah, great job by Derizen. Now that's about 3 or 4 event horizon. The baby kid is just getting them stuck in there. So I like the play from them. I also really like the proto belt is actually working out really well. And this is something different here, Halfling. We have a Baron,
they're doing a Baron
attempt at 21 minutes.
Oh my god, they're doing it, and they're going to get spotted as well. So here comes the TP. At this moment, you see the TP. You decide, do you want to burn, or do you want to turn, or do you want to get out of here? They're going to burn, and they're going to try to turn off this. They get the stats, 1200 picked up, Solar Flare burn, trying to get as best they can. Thunder McButters going to get picked up with the Fear Beyond Death. Noodles for 2, getting burst on down, but not quite enough to kill Komarevi. Going to go to the backside, burns that Crescent Guard, finds the first kill here onto the Tristana. Now eyes turning towards Leona. Can they close this distance? It's pretty far. Winds become lightning, going to close it now. They're looking for the fight. Stun onto the Braum, can't quite fall. And Noodles for 2, back, still alive. That's Witch. Oh my god, I'm messing this up now. Witch Hat Black Mass. Witch at Black Mass is what it is. Technically, is a witch, but I don't know, man. That's a long name. Still dead. Still dead, so I win.
Yeah, and that's the right play by them. You're caught. All your cooldowns are done. You guys got the Baron. You want to make sure that at least your Renekton has it, if not more. So you do still have 3 members with the Baron buff on them. That is going to be a Hextech going over to the side of CEG. So that is Hextech Soul that they kind of gave up for the Baron play. I mean, depending on if they can get a lot of pressure onto these turrets, it may be worth it. But we'll see how that goes now as Subjugation is down, and Xayah,
run down the Xayah, only has Cleanse. Had to burn that flash to get away, and Komarebi gonna be the next one to fall. I mean, there's nothing here to really quite to look for. They've got the Baron, which is good. They've got on a lot of important members as well, so Tech gonna start pushing on and knocking on the base here of Conduit Esports. They got Derizen on a flank. They haven't quite spotted out. Now going to sniff it out. Event Horizon burn. Good. Peel has to flash away from the Solar Flare. Pillar going to miss. Nothing else really here for both sides. Ooh. Never mind! It's a snipe from downtown to pick up a kill for Noodles for 2.
Yeah, and you are going to end up losing your tier 3 tower, not the inhibitor, which I think is a smart play from TEQ to not take that anyways, because it's very early on. We're only at 24 minutes into the game. But a lot of damage done. Only a plate and 7/8 of a plate, maybe, on the tier 2 for TEQ, for Soaz on the Renekton. So good job by them, and unfortunate. That was a really nice snipe. That was a blind snipe for the Fear Beyond Death to be able to take that. So good job from for Noodles to just kind of get something back on that. And now 4-3-2. You got the CS. I don't think that he ended up getting anything else out of that item, but you want to get Urgot to his strongest point as soon as you can. As now it looks like TQ looking to mop up some free extra gold on the map, as now they're turning their attention down to the tier 1 in the bot lane. And since the map is so open, now they can just kind of push it. I'm sorry, what's that?
That's a dusty ass health potion. That's the same health potion from lane, from the Urgot.
Good. You gotta hold it until the end now. You have to win the game and hold on to the health potion.
you gotta drink it at the very end, man. Just a stun on them. I didn't even need this to regen multiple times where they probably could have popped the pot to stay a little safe. Maybe they bought it and I've just been blind. I could be blind, man. I've mentioned it before that seeing is hard even with classes. Regardless, I mean, the game's still moving on. It's nice and slow. Both objectives coming up at the same time as well, or close enough. Big worry though. Tech has that Hextech soul to pressure, like you were mentioning, and it's just so hard to deal with that. I think you do end up trading the soul for Baron.
Yeah, I mean, the onus is on TQ to see where they kind of want to go, right? Like CEG, they can posture around this Hextech Drake and give that Baron, but not getting the soul, but still getting Baron and pushing the soul off for 4.5 minutes, like that's a big win for Tech. So if Theory of Evolution, like they can just, or Theory of Everything they can just go straight to the Baron, get a free Baron, and then on the backside of that, maybe pressure for later. But as we saw the last Baron got them a lot, but now they're kind of grouping around, and Veigar looking for the flank here, and we'll see if anybody's willing to pull the trigger on this fight.
It's the same story as last game with that wave clear. You need to spread them out, man. It's reverse teams, of course. Conduit now having a lot of wave clear and a lot of ways to stop if waves coming through, and stop siege with the Event Horizon, with the Xayah, with Urgot as well. So sieging is hard, but Tech taking the right response. They see all 5 moving up. They're like, okay, we're done. We're not going to deal with this anymore. It's no big deal. And we're going to start posturing around this dragon. So specifically, both teams here opting into this play.
Yeah, and I think originally Theory of Everything thought that they were going to be able to get a pick onto the Urgot and then kill the tower, but a good response from Conduit Genesis to be able to realize that that was the play that they were trying to go for. Let's crowd and overload this tier 2 while Urgot is there, and then make them kind of have to come to us. But now it looks like they are going to try to get the cheeky move on the Conduit, and they're going to try to surprise them with the nice little death bush here. There is no vision for the side of Conduit, so any move that they make is going to be a blind face check.
Hex Tech into the Event Horizon. Wait a second! Proton player has just ran it into the center of Conduit, giving the Fear Beyond Death a free reset. Now, Thunder McButters, though, did pop the Arcane Storm. Is going to start going through, but they didn't retarget. You didn't retarget it. It's going to be Conduit starting to run through the rest of the team, but not without being stopped by Black Bass and the rest of Tech. Stopping any mistakes, stopping any sort of hope for Conduit. There is none of it left over. Good pull from the Xayah, but it's a double kill for Soez. It's Tech with the ace.
You know, you can walk across in traffic and make it across without dying. It does not mean that it was a good idea. And that's exactly what happened for Proton right there. Like, he jumped the gun on that. I seen what he was trying to do. He was trying to create some chaos into the back, but they were so grouped up and ready for just him that they kind of forgot about the rest of the team. And Boostis on this Tristana has been very, very quiet up until this point. You know, they get a couple of kills in that fight, but I think there were like maybe 1, 1, and 2 before that. Yeah, this is going to be the game. Oh, shit. Maybe not.
Maybe should be. Do the damage you can. Leona's going to find it.
Oh,
Good
wow.
end here for Theory of Everything. Quantization? I did it once. Everyone gets one. Now, regardless, congratulations to them. A very well played game indeed from the side of them. They came back after a very rough game 1. We saw that. We both, I mean, honestly, kind of wrote them off. I'm going to be honest. Everyone here is saying, damn, it's going to be a quick night. This kind of sucks. It's going to be a quick and slow night. But not the case at all. Theory of Everything coming back strong and proving us wrong here.
Yeah, this is 2 weeks in a row now that they've gotten their wins, so they could be onto something right now. Like they could be setting up their own trajectory to just be, you know, world breakers in Olympus, and just start like taking this entire series season over. But yeah, like they literally listened to what you said. You can scale, get some agency, and then from that point on, like every pick that they made kind of worked well together, you know, and I didn't think that the game was over at that point, so good on them to realize that they could actually just finish the friggin' game there. And yeah, I think they took everybody by surprise, and especially after game 1, where CEG literally just sat there and did exactly what they wanted. There was no answer. It felt like a dead series from the start, and then, you know, a little spiciness in the second game, and then the third game they came out, and yeah, it didn't go well for them in the beginning, which when you have a Veigar on the other team doesn't look good. But they did exactly what CEG did in game 1. They played it a little slow. They made a few like whatever here and there, and then they waited for CEG to make the mistakes, to get a little too aggressive, or maybe you know, give them a little bit too much pressure, because you sat on Soul Point for 3 dragons in a row almost, you know, and so then they were just kind of able to take that, and they got really good play out of basically everybody. Witch at Black Mass, like, just play them engage tanks, man, because like even though they missed a couple Zenith Blades and one of the
You're just
yeah,
you're
and the
miss them
solar
eventually.
flare to a flash, but like the play is there, you know, and the idea is there, and it works out so much better. So I really liked what they did here. It was a lot of fun to watch the reverse sweep come in, and hats off to them. And CG, like, it's still kind of in your hands the rest of the season. You know, both of these teams 2-3 now, so you are sitting together at the standings. So you just got to win and make sure that you can do whatever you can to keep your playoff hopes alive.
100%. And that puts them in a little bit more of a breathable spot now. 2-3 matched up with Conduit as well, behind in game score, of course, but that puts them in the 4th seed as of right now. Of course, most of the game, not all the games have finished up this week, so we may see some changes with that, but Destiny's still in their hands for Quantization. So congratulations to them, a 2-1 victory over Conduit. With that being the case, we gotta let everybody go. It's been a fun Friday with y'all. Happy 4th of July to the Americans, the Canadians. Happy Canada Day. I'm a little late, but it's a-okay. It's Friday. Been Halfling, joined by Fell, produced by Shivam, and observed by Rare Adam. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We'll see you next time.